Thanks for joining Hoops Hidden Gems podcast. I'm your host, David Jones. I want to thank everybody for sticking with us. We've been off for the past 2 weeks due to me working and AAU. So AAU season is kicked off. So that's had us very busy as well. But we want to thank everybody for coming back and sticking with us. We got a great show lined up for tonight. We have Coach Jamera Robinson from Indian River CC coming in on the women's side. How you doing today?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing very well. One of the things I wanted to do, I wanted to start as well. I've been a big advocate for post grad and JUCO as well. I've only had a couple JUCO coaches on, but I wanted to get more women's JUCO coaches on. And you were a great candidate because Indian River runs a great program down there. And we just wanted to introduce everybody that's not familiar with Indian River CC to our whole podcast. So tell us a little more about Indian River. Where are you located at?
We're located in Fort Pierce, Florida. I would say it's about 1 hour from West Palm Beach going north. We sit
Okay,
right between Orlando and kind of West Palm Beach.
got you, got you. And just to make sure, you're a D1 JUCO, correct?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so for our listeners that are not familiar with what a D1 JUCO is, D1 JUCOs can give out scholarships to their players, and Indian River does do that. One of the things I wanted the people to know about Indian River, can you just touch on the number of players you've sent to the next level, and just in the past years, because I know it's been a number of players.
You wanted me to touch on, I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you. I'm so sorry.
That's okay. Can you touch on the number of players that have went on from Indian River that have went to D2 or NAI or D1?
I've been in the river for 3 years. In my past three
Okay.
years, in my first group, I've had 5 athletes out of 6 go on. And that sixth
Okay.
athlete decided to go into a nursing program.
Okay.
Last year, I've had 6 out of 6 go on to another school, and this year I have 7 young ladies that's most likely going on to whether Division 1 or Division 2.
Oh, nice, nice. So that speaks highly of your placement right there. So that means you're running a good program there. So with that being said, so you guys play in a tough Florida conference in JUCO, is that correct?
Definitely, definitely, very tough.
Yeah, I mean, most of the people that are in the Southeast know about Florida JUCO and how tough it's one of the toughest conferences in the country. Um, Tell me, how did your season go this year? You guys got to play, right?
Definitely, we had a very successful year. We finished the year 13-5.
Okay.
We finished um, nationally ranked. We end the season being ranked 21 in the
Okay.
country. We finished the season being ranked fourth in the state of Florida.
Okay.
We actually made it to the final. We made it to the state tournament for the first time in 11 years. And then
Wow.
not only that, we made it to the state tournament, but we made it to the final four for the first time in 30 years. So very
Wow.
successful year. Credit to my student athletes and what they've
Okay.
done.
Okay. So I'm assuming you recruit not just from Florida, you recruit from all over. Is that correct?
Definitely, we have out-of-state scholarships. We even could possibly go international.
Okay, man, you go international as well. Okay. So that lets me know your connections run deep, not only with international, but that lets me know you have good connections with coaches on all levels then, and which means that's why you're placing 7 out of 7.
Definitely, for sure. Just
Okay.
continue to network and build those relationships
And that's what it's
pay
all
off
about.
for us.
So for next year, how many are you looking for next year?
Next year, I'm bringing in 9. I've
Wow.
already
Okay.
signed 4.
Okay.
Yeah, I've already signed 4, and looking to sign 5 more. We run a 12-man. We're 12 deep, so
Okay.
need 5 more young ladies to finish off this class.
Okay. And now let me ask you this. Are any of your student athletes coming back and taking advantage of the COVID year?
Yes, I have 2 young ladies that's going to come back.
Okay.
Actually, 3 young ladies that's going to come back. and take advantage of that opportunity.
Okay. Okay. So now getting away from basketball for just for a quick second, in regards to Indian River, what do they offer in regards from educational standpoint that sticks out? Is there anything Indian River is known for, and from academic wise, and any associate programs?
Definitely, we was actually ranked last year as the number one junior college in the nation. We won the Aspen Award. But as
Okay.
far as from academic programs, I believe that we pride ourselves highly on criminal justice, biology track. What we do at Indian River is we prepare our student athletes to go on to that next school. So we
Okay.
make sure that they're taking transferable credits. So any of our biology programs, criminal justice, I will also say sociology programs are something that we kind of pride ourselves on to ensure that our athletes are here to move on.
Okay. Okay. Now, I know this may not happen a lot, but I'm sure you get it from time to time, and I always like to touch on it just for the young ladies that are looking at Indian River that are transferring from D1 or D2. So let's say they transfer to Indian River, but let's say, for instance, they're going to be a freshman going into their sophomore year, but let's say they took enough credits where they're past their sophomore year academically. Do you have any dual enrollment programs or 4-year schools?
Oh, we actually allowed to, at Indian River College, our student athletes are allowed to take their bachelor's
Okay. Oh,
classes.
wow. Okay.
So
Okay.
I actually have, well, the ladies that's coming back next year, they graduated, they'll be graduating this week. So they'll be
Okay.
starting their bachelor classes come the fall in August.
Nice. Okay, that's big for Indian River. Not every school offers that where they can
Definitely.
take bachelor classes at the community college. So, man, and the reason why I was asking you that, I get that question a lot where they say, "Hey, coach, I would love to go JUCO, but I've already finished my sophomore year academically. I won't be able to go." And I've learned, even for myself, I've learned like, hey, you still can go for the schools that have dual enrollment, or like Indian River, like you just said, that offer bachelor's degrees. That's big time. That's real big. That's impressive. So
Definitely, coach. So
what
next time that you get those questions, refer them to Indian River. All right. Thank you.
oh,
Thank you.
definitely. Hey, I'm learning just like everybody else. When they told me that, I said, "Oh man, I didn't know that." But getting back to the athletic side, I know Indian River has had a long history. I knew they had a long history on the men's side for baseball and basketball. But once I met you and I saw what you were doing, I said, one of the first things I said, "Oh man, I got to get on the show for more people to know about her." And I know the Atlanta community is starting to know. They're starting to hear your name a lot more, which is a good thing. And with you, what you guys did this year, I expect your recruiting to really start to go through the roof now. I mean, which is also a good thing as well. And because you're doing
Definitely.
a great job down there. You're doing an awesome job, and I would not be surprised to see you in the NJCAA tournament coming up next year. Not
Definitely.
be surprised.
Definitely. Hope.
I,
Definitely.
I know for you, like everybody else, and I always put this out there. Uh, for my post players, Coach Robinson is looking for you for my post players. Definitely, she's looking
Definitely
for you.
is. For sure. We are. And we take care of our student athletes. So definitely.
Now, do you guys have on campus housing, or how does that work at Indian River?
We have on campus housing. It's probably 5 minutes walking distance from the campus. So it's definitely
Okay.
nearby. Our student athletes have their own room and
Okay.
they only share bathrooms with one other teammate. So it's a pretty nice situation. It's 4 to an apartment. Then you share bathrooms with one other person.
Man, that's better than a lot of low level D1s. I'm serious. I mean,
Definitely, it's a
yeah,
good
that
situation.
situation right there, that's your selling point right there. Man, boy, that's impressive. Shoot. And I'm assuming you guys have a cafeteria just like most of your majority of schools do, correct?
Yes, and our administration actually just proved this year for us to have full meals. Past last year, we didn't have meals, but this year we're
Okay.
able to offer meals in the cafeteria. So, um, shout out to our administration staff and just understanding the needs of our student athletes.
Okay.
And
Okay.
that was special. That was big for us in taking our recruiting to the next level.
Definitely. Hey, you can't beat that at all. I mean, you have everything that a student athlete can ask for. I mean, you have sufficient housing, you got meals. I mean, I've been to Indian River. It's a beautiful facility and campus. So, I mean, anybody that's out there looking, this is definitely a place you want to check out. And I mean, you just added a cherry on top when you said they have a bachelor's as well. I was like, oh man, that's shoot. You're going to get transfers. You're going to get a number of people now because you check every box. And I just look at this like it's anybody that's looking, whether they're looking to transfer or they're looking to come in from high school. Because one of the reasons I wanted to bring you on is, as you know, a lot of athletes have a stigma attached with going JUCO, and they don't understand fully what JUCO can do for you. Do you agree with that?
Yes,
And I just look at this from a perspective of, you know, JUCO sometimes it's academics that they need to clean up, and sometimes it's on the athletic side and has nothing to do with from academics. They just need that extra year to get themselves together. And with programs like yours, hey, you can go D1, D2, and there's nothing wrong with going NAI from JUCO as well if that is the case. Because I mean, your program is nationally ranked, so you're going to have a plethora of schools looking at the talent from 1 through 12, correct?
definitely, for sure.
So, it's just one of those things where I'm looking at this where I'm expecting a lot bigger things. Now, will you be up in Atlanta anytime trying to recruit? Let me ask that.
Um, Possibly, now that the
Well,
everything's
not a
starting to open
COVID.
back
Yeah.
up,
Yeah.
and we'll definitely be looking to attend more AAU tournaments, looking to get out there a little bit more to see some athletes that we probably wouldn't see. So I'll definitely say that, there's no ceilings to possibly where we can go within
And,
this this summer.
and you just touched it. That was going to be my next question, and you just answered it. So, a lot of your recruiting base is going to like the AAU events or going to these camps, correct?
Yes, definitely. And I will say we do a lot of reaching out, a little bit of a transfer porter in there. But a lot of just reaching out and just networking and trying to build that base, getting kids that, just want another opportunity. And a lot of people look down and think that, JUCO is a failure, but it's not. I played JUCO and I was successful at being a JUCO, product of JUCO. So it's definitely, for those kids that need that extra opportunity, whether academically or getting the extra development on the court. I like to say that, coming to JUCO, you have the opportunity to play right away. Most
Uh,
D1 programs, D2 programs, they have players, but
okay. Okay. Well,
this year we
got you.
played 2 or 3 freshmen, so started 2 or 3 freshmen, so it's an opportunity.
Okay. And so that means you got those 2 or 3 freshmen coming back. So that means you're gonna be tough next year. Well, next
That's the
season
plan.
rather.
That's the plan, coach.
I got you. I got you. And so, I didn't really want to just grill you too much with questions. I just really wanted to introduce you to the whole audience for, like, hey, Indian River is a very valuable option down there in Florida. So how can they reach you? Let me ask that as we start to wrap this up. How can they reach you, Coach? Can they reach you on Twitter? Can they reach you on Instagram? Can they reach you on email? How can prospects reach you?
My email address is jrmcmillan ROBINSO at irnsc.edu. I am
Okay.
also on Twitter at Coach Robinson J. Twitter and my Instagram name is the same. So at
Okay.
Coach Robinson J. If you would like to
Okay.
reach me on Twitter or Instagram.
Got you. Got you. Well, I tell you what, I definitely I appreciate you coming on the show, especially on short notice. And this won't be the last time you come on. I come to Florida all the time because I come to a bunch of the post grad and JUCO events as well. So next time I'm down there, we will definitely have to catch up. Definitely.
Definitely, for sure. Just let me know. Thank you for
Oh,
having me.
definitely. Oh, anytime. Well, this is Coach Robinson from Indian River. If anybody has any questions, they can reach out to me or they can reach out to Coach Robinson on Twitter. They can reach out on her email. But I would definitely say she definitely answers on Twitter. So Twitter is probably the best way to catch her.
For sure, definitely. Thank you, Coach.
Okay. Anytime. Well, Coach, you have a good one and thank you for coming on. We appreciate you. Okay.
No problem. Thank you.
Anytime, anytime. That's Coach Robinson from Indian River Community College. It's definitely a great program down there. It's a beautiful campus too. I've been down there. That was some years ago when I went down there, and the West Palm Beach is a nice area, and that's definitely something. You guys that are looking to, if you feel you're not quite ready for, you know, your 4-year school, or you don't have a situation that you feel comfortable, I would definitely say give Coach Robinson, give her a call and see what she can do for you. Our next guest, man, this is my guy from North Carolina. This is Coach McCain. How you doing? He's coming from Fayetteville Tech. How you doing, man?
Hey, I appreciate you being on, man. Thank you, man. Thank you for the invite.
Anytime, man. Anytime. Actually, we were connected through, someone that we both know very well. And, ever since we started talking, man, I hate that I was right there, 30 minutes from you. And we didn't get a chance to connect when I was in Pinehurst, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. I hate it, man, but we're going to definitely connect for sure.
Oh, no question. No question. Because I still plan to come up to North Carolina and check out some of your games now that hopefully COVID's starting to, well, fingers crossed, COVID's starting to take a step down and, people are starting to get out to the gym. I definitely want to come check you out next season if it's allowed. Let's put it like that.
For sure.
So let me ask you this. So with Fayetteville Tech, man, I know you're right next to what's the HBCU? Fayetteville State, right?
Fayetteville State, yes, sir.
You're right next to it, correct?
Yes, sir. Right next to Fayetteville State.
Okay.
Great, prestigious HBCU and the CIAA.
Yeah.
When it comes to HBCU sports, they don't really get bigger than the CIAA. So Fayetteville State definitely represents for the CIAA.
Okay, so and I'd have to assume you probably send a couple kids over that way from Fayetteville Tech, right?
Yeah, definitely. And I was lucky to be able to coach over there for 3 seasons with me,
Okay.
Coach Ken Spencer and Coach Broughton. We spent some time there.
Okay.
First season there, we was able to take the team to the CIAA championship.
Nice.
So I like to tell everybody that's watching, especially the recruits, if you got an opportunity to play in the CIAA, it's not a stage that's too much bigger than that outside of high majors.
I agree. I agree because, like you just said, the CIAA has a reputation for sending kids to the pros, and if they don't go to NBA, they definitely go overseas. Definitely.
Yes, sir. You got to just look at somebody like a Amir Hitton. That's recent. Played at Shaw University, went from Shaw to the NBA just like that. So sometimes kids get so focused on level that they don't go to the right fit, and it's all about the right fit. So I think it's important for us to teach the youth about right fit and going somewhere where the style of play matches, so they can have those opportunities.
Just a quick side note: we just had someone mention and it's so ironic you said that. William Maddox, who's watching the show, he just mentioned when you're talking about fit. I had Hargrave, the coach from Hargrave, on the show a couple weeks ago, and one of their top players, one of the top players from Hargrave, he had a number of offers, and he ended up going to Duquesne. And like you said, Duquesne got a steal, but man, it's a fit. He's going to go there and play almost immediately. And that's what I want people to understand. Like, when you go to a Fayetteville Tech, like, it's not that you can't play, because as we both know, JUCO got some dogs. They got some dogs. And you had some dogs too this year. You definitely had some dogs. And a lot of people, and it kind of upsets me a little bit, where like, oh, they go to JUCO, he's not this, he's not that, or he's a problem child, or he has issues. That's not the case, with a number of those kids. A number of those kids just need that 1 or 2 years to develop, and then they really go to the next level and take their game. They really take it to the next level then. So, and Deshauna, yes, definitely fit matters 100%. Definitely matters.
And not to cut you off, Dave, like here in the country, man, we like to say, hey, everything ain't instant grits, right? So being in North Carolina, being in the hoop state, sometimes in the generation we live in, everybody wants instant gratification.
Yeah.
So they want to be able to say, I got an offer from this D1 school, this school, instead of coming to a Fayetteville State, learning about tenacity, learning about grit, learning how to play with that chip on their shoulder, learning how to be a dog, learning about scholarship and intelligence off the court, getting mentored from, guys in the community that they can touch. My LB, Calvin Mims, retired military. If you want to go to the military, there's somebody you can touch. My LB, Ed Bradley, getting ready to be a principal. If you want to be an educator, that's somebody you can touch. So you got to think outside of your realm of thinking. And I don't blame the youth for it. I don't. I think it's misinterpretation. They're not getting a proper education about junior college. So I know that myself and the other junior college coaches are trying to push the narrative of, hey, you could come here, like you said, play right away. But it's bigger than basketball. You have to be serious about your academics and your scholarship. And you have to learn how to, in tough situations, not to let your nerve desert you, but just to be strong and tenacious and have that grit about you. So I don't know any 4-year coach that don't want to have, somebody who plays with a chip on their shoulder. So, during those 2 years when they're with us, we're teaching them, we're trying to hit all of those things. And, by the time that they really, really got it, they're out the door and we're starting all over again. So.
And man, and you touched that, man. When you sent me the highlights of some of the guys you had, I said, yeah, you got some dogs with you, definitely. And I look at it like a lot of people are missing out on what you have, man. And I have no shame in saying that. Like, Fayetteville Tech got some players. So coaches, if y'all out there looking, you need to make a stop at Fayetteville Tech CC. Those guys can play, man. I'll co-sign on that all day, man. You guys got some players.
Yeah, for sure. And the thing about it, Dave, is when they got here, these guys were known around the hoop state, because we call North Carolina the hoop state, right?
Yeah.
So they were known around the hoop state. But somebody like a Shaquille Gay, his freshman year, he averaged 3 points per game, right? So we're in the gym, getting that sweat equity with him. Coach Wright, Coach Hurd, myself, working with him, breaking down his game, letting him see, hey, right now you're this, but you can be this. So he's looking at film, breaking his game down. He's working after practice, before practice, until going to this year. He averages 14 points a game. He's third team all region. He's a 6'6" wing. He defends. He does all these things. And he said, hey, coach, I didn't know none of this stuff until I got to the program. So it's all about development. And some of these kids don't realize that at the junior college platform, you can go from being unknown to Division I. Or, I mean, it's an array of opportunities.
Exactly. I agree with you 100%. And, that's why I sign off on your program, man. You're taking those kids and you're taking, some of them are coming from situations where they need exactly what you're talking about, not just on the court, they need it off the court as well. So you're providing that environment, man, that's helping them grow into, and you got a plethora of schools, like you said, with North Carolina being the hoop state. For people that don't know, I mean, there's a number of D1s, there's a number of D2s, there's a number of HBCUs, there's a number of D3s and NAIs in North Carolina. So just in state alone, like, they want to go out of state, that's fine. But at the end of the day, man, I mean, there's going to be a number of opportunities for those kids, man. Just like, man, I tell people don't even know about UNC Pembroke. They're one of the top D2 programs.
one of the top D2 programs in the country. Shout out to Coach Drew,
Exactly.
those guys. They do a great job every single year of
Yeah.
having a top-notch program. See, at our program, we don't say, hey, D1, D2, none of that other stuff. Hey, you come in right away. And we're looking at all levels. Hey, if a D3 is a good fit for you, you're going D3.
Mm-hmm.
If NAIA is a good fit for you, then that's where you need to go. But I know we touch on basketball a lot, but off the court is big for us, man. We're big on culture. We're big on uplift. We're big on uplift. We're big on uplift. Shout out to my brothers of Beta Chi Chapter of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated. They have a lot of hands-on with the program,
Okay.
providing these kids with uplift and just all type of service and duty and whatever it may be at the time. So it's just bigger than basketball, man. And these guys lead the program and they miss it. They miss it. They say, Coach, these were the 2 best years, of my life. And that's what it's all about.
That lets you know you're doing your job. When kids come back to you and say that, you're doing your job. Because, sometimes you have programs where those kids can't wait to get out of those programs and go to their next step. When you have kids coming back to you and say, hey, man, I missed this. And we know JUCO is no walk in the park. But if they're telling you that, man, that speaks volumes for your program, man. And you're only going to continue to get those type of kids because those kids are going to say, hey, man, you need to go see Coach McCain, man. They're going to take care of you. They're going to do you right. You're going to get to where you need to be. They're going to tell you what it is. If you're an NAIA player, you're an NAIA player. If you're a D3 player, you're a D3 player. You D2, you're D1. And I just want to get that narrative out of these kids' heads to think, if I'm going to NAIA, I'm not a baller. It's just like going to JUCO, you're not a baller. That's nonsense, man. And I tell people that all the time. There's killers on every level. Every level.
And what kids fail to realize is I want to thank our administration. It starts from the top. Our administration does a good job from our president to our vice president to our ADs. And then Coach Hurd, the head coach, has a great vision for the program. We have tough talks. I mean, he's a white guy, and we having tough talks about things that's going on in the world. You know what I mean? And he's right there supporting the guys, got their back. You know what I mean? Do whatever he can for the guys. He's right there with them. Hey, he'll give him the shirt off his back. So when I saw that, I said, hey, man, I could work underneath a guy like that, that has that type of vision and compassion, for the young black men that we coach. And it's important. Kids don't realize how affordable junior college is.
Definitely.
If you're an in-state student, it's $2,500 with tuition, with books, $2,500, right? Or you're going to another school paying all this money. It makes no sense at all.
Wait. I need you to say, you said it's $2,500 to go to Fayetteville Tech, man.
$2,500 to go to Fayetteville Tech. $2,500. So,
hold on. Is that per semester or is that for the year?
That's for 2 semesters, but that's for the whole entire year. Full-time status. So one thing in the recruiting process, I'm telling kids, hey, what do you have to lose? You have nothing to lose. Bet on yourself.
Man.
So if I'm a parent and you're telling me this is $2,500 and you're going and I gotta pay for another school, nah, you going down there. You gotta figure it out. You getting with Coach Hurd, Coach McCain, Coach Wright, you're gonna figure that thing out.
So and let's touch on this a little further, man, because this is the easy spill and the easy sell. So if you're telling me it's $2,500 and I'm Pell eligible, that means you're getting money back. Am I correct?
Right, and you're absolutely correct. And I'm glad you said that. So when I'm telling the kids, you are getting paid to go to school.
Exactly.
I mean, you're getting paid to go to school. So kids are looking down at junior college, but not knowing, hey, this is a great option. So I played junior college basketball myself. So I went to school and I was full Pell. I got a $2,000 check every semester back then. My apartment was straight. My food was straight. Hey, I was going to get little tattoos, Jordans, all that type of stuff. And they had to ask mom for no money. So
exactly.
Then we're still trying to educate kids in the hoop state and all over the place. And it's not myself, it's coaches from other programs. And, we're just trying to knock that narrative of junior college. Kids don't understand that you can go from a D1 easier from a JUCO than high school. High school was 2%. JUCO was 20%.
Yep.
So, and with the way the transfer portal is going, recruiting is changing right in front of us.
Man.
I feel
Well,
like
you don't even
junior
want to
college
touch
is going
that.
to be more of a place for kids to use the platform and go forward.
Man, I'm at a lot. Well, let me ask this. So 2,500 for in-state. What is it for out-of-state?
So for out of state, it's a little bit more expensive.
Okay.
It's $6,000. So
Man, still, are you kidding
yeah,
me? It's 6,000. Full Pell covers 6,000.
yes, you're
So,
correct.
it's more expensive, but you're still going for free.
Yeah, you're
And,
still going for free, and kids don't realize the average cost of university nowadays is 20, 25,000, 30,000. So most kids are not getting a full scholarship when they transfer. They're getting partials, they're piecing stuff together, and they're still having to pay money out of their pocket.
okay.
So when we sit down and give parents the breakdown of the financial portion, they're all for it. It's all about selling their son at that point.
Definitely. So let me ask you this. So, and this is the next big question, and this is for everybody to know as well. What's your placement rate for
So
your
I've
kid?
been with the program for 2 seasons. Our
Okay.
placement rate last year was 50%,
Okay.
which is really good, right? So from this year, we had a really successful year. We beat the number 1 team in the country. We beat the number 20 team in the country. We were 6-1. We was rolling. Unfortunately, we met some COVID issues. We were
Gotcha.
out for 45 days. Couldn't really get our rhythm. We lost 4 games in a row. Came back, won 2 games. Won a game in the tournament. Then check this out. So our seeding was set up where we had to play the number 5 team in the country. So right now they're in Danville, Illinois, as the number 5 seed in the Danville tournament, which is D2 tournament. Okay, so
Yeah.
they out there they was number 5 team in the country. We played with them for 37 minutes. Sandhills is a good team. The last 3
Oh
minutes
yeah.
they pulled away.
Yeah. Sandhills is tough.
They
Sandhills
tough.
is very tough. Yeah.
So if we would have beat Sandhills, then we would have had to play Davidson, who's the number 1 team in the country, who's the number 1 seed overall up there in Danville. So we had the toughest road than anybody in the country of trying to get to Danville. And even with all of that, 7 of our 8 sophomores have scholarship in hand. Some of them have multiple scholarship opportunities. So yeah, man, we're just trying to continue to help these guys, and our placement went from 50% to 90% in 2
Okay.
seasons. So we got to continue to keep grinding, keep bringing in the right guys,
Definitely.
and keep moving forward.
And man, like for programs like yours, that's why our AAU organization, we go to schools like we go to JUCOs, we go to D2s, we go to D3s, we go to NAIs, and the first thing our kids will say is, "Man, these guys are good." And we're like, "That's why we're bringing you here."
Yeah,
That's exactly why we're bringing you here. And Dr. Love, I appreciate you saying that, man, because he follows what we do from an AAU perspective. We just wanted to do things different. We just didn't want to take them just to only D1 schools. We wanted to say, here, man, look at these killers out here. And our kids have went to some schools and went to some D1 schools and been like, hey, that lower level is a little better than them. And so that was the key for all this, to get them to see that. So when it's their time, whenever it's in 2 or 3 years, they can say, man, I went to a D2 school and watched them play, and they were better than this D1 program. Because it's not always about that. It's like what Deshaun said, it's about the right fit.
It's all about the right fit. And think of this right here. So you got a CIAA program like Shaw, you got a CIAA program like Fayetteville State. So not only you getting every game you go to is like a homecoming. So not only are you getting the atmosphere, you're getting great basketball, then socially off the court, you're getting a great experience with Greek life and social clubs and all those things. You're getting top-notch academics. So I hope kids would stop focusing on level and just, like we talked about before, going to fit. Because if I got an opportunity to go to a Shaw or Fayetteville State University or Winston-Salem State and all these other programs, I'll take that hands down.
Yeah.
Because that experience is second to none.
Exactly. And this is another thing I want to mention, man. And I know you're going to agree with me. If you're set on going to a school and you know what major you want, it's ridiculous for you to go to a school that doesn't have your major.
That
That's
makes
crazy.
no sense.
No sense whatsoever. But for the sake of I go to this big time school, I'm going to go and worry about that later, which means you're going to pick up student debt, student loan debt, because yeah, you enjoyed yourself for 4 years, but they didn't have your major.
Right. Right. So man,
So
we're big on scholarship. We're real big on scholarship. We're real big on going somewhere and making sure you leave out of there with that degree. So I mean, I would definitely not recommend that to a young man. But kind of going forward, man, I think Last Chance U has really helped junior colleges going forward.
yes, yes, it has.
Getting highlighted. And I know as a coach coming from the 4-year level, I was at the 4-year level for 8 seasons. Being at this level is extremely, extremely, extremely tough. It's not for everybody. I know for myself, I talked about it from a player standpoint, but from a coach's standpoint, you got to be tenacious. You got to have tenacity. Yeah. You got to have a chip on your shoulder because you got so many different personalities, and you got to mesh all those personalities together for one common goal. Because those sophomores start thinking, "Hey, coach, I got to get an offer. I got to get an offer. I got to get an offer. I got to get an offer." Then you got the freshmen. Hey, I came here to play. I came here to play. So you're meshing all that together, and you're trying to teach them, hey, if we all come together, right, and we all win and we all go to Danville together, then everybody's needs are met, and we're going to be successful at what we're trying to do.
Yes, I couldn't agree with that more. But I want to break down Fayetteville Tech even more so people get a complete understanding of what you guys do over there. The first thing I'm going to ask, you guys are JUCO D1 or JUCO D2? Let the people know.
So we're JUCO D2. I kind of not get caught up on those levels things because they really don't mean nothing. I mean, Fayetteville Tech, if you walked on our campus, we got 10,000 students. It's the size of a 4-year school.
But it wasn't the level I was going to refer to. And yes, I agree with what you're saying. I wanted to be more of so people understood. So JUCO D1s, yes, they give the full scholarships, but what people need to be educated on is the JUCO D2s. It really depends on what we are talking about earlier. It's that Pell eligible that gets them over. And to be honest, if they're not Pell eligible, those parents can afford, or the kids can afford $2,500. They could work a summer. And be able to pay that off. You know what I'm saying? I mean, let's just be honest. I mean,
let's keep it real. Let's be real. Yeah.
If you want to be real, and they say, Coach, I come from a situation where, my parents don't have money. If I was on your staff, I say, listen, the first thing I tell you is go ahead and apply for as many grants and scholarships as you can. Yes. But to be honest, bro, you can work this because you can still do work study at Fayetteville Tech, right?
You can still do work study. When the season's over, you can maintain working basketball camps with Coach Wright. Coach Wright, our assistant coach here, does basketball camps. The YMCA is like literally right across the street from us. So there's so many different avenues to gain monies. And then our kids this year, I was like messing with them, like y'all taking me out to eat because they got COVID relief money this year as well. So on top of the Pell Grant checks and all that, they got an additional $1,500 because of COVID. So kids don't understand like the resources that are at junior colleges. It's a little different than 4-year schools, but you're getting money in your pocket at a junior college.
I do want to say this, just getting off of sports real quick. If you go to Fayetteville Tech, you need to go to the Soul Food buffet in Fayetteville. What's it called, man? I've been there a couple times. Yes. Yes.
And when you come in town, I'm gonna take you to Grandsons. We're gonna get some chicken, macaroni and cheese. We're gonna eat good.
Yeah, man. Now, look, I told you I've been to Fayetteville. So when I went to that soul food buffet, I was like, oh, I'll be back to this one. Trust me.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, and that's just the side note. I mean, there is some good food in Fayetteville, so it's not like you're gonna go there and you're gonna be like, oh, I mean, it's a great atmosphere. Fayetteville State is right across the street. You got good high school basketball as well in Fayetteville as well. There's a number of good teams there. So there's things to do in Fayetteville. So, outside of the small free time that you will have, it's not like you're going to be in the middle of nowhere. Fayetteville is a nice, decent city. I tell people that all the time.
For sure. Our campus is like right in the middle of the whole entire city. I mean, the bowling alley, I could throw a rock at the bowling alley. There's restaurants all around. The beach is an hour and a half away. You want to get away to the coast, go out there, come back. there's just so many things to do in the city. Fayetteville State, you got Methodist University, like you said, you got high school. I mean, it's just so much to do.
Yeah, because I went to a couple 71st games while I was there. I went to a couple of those games.
Yeah, that's like going to Fayetteville State games.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah, a lot of
yes,
pride.
it is. I went to the 71st Hope game, just to let you know, so you know.
Oh, yeah, rivalry.
Yes, the rivalry game. I was like, man, this is crazy.
But did you get one of those fish sandwiches out there?
I didn't. I heard about it, but I didn't get a chance to get a fish sandwich. But I will get one next time. Trust me. Because I used to get my hair cut in Fayetteville when I was in Pinehurst. I used to go to Fayetteville because the barbers were working on Sundays. I was like, oh, y'all some hustlers. I'm coming down here to get my hair cut.
Right.
So I used to come all the time to get my hair cut in Fayetteville. But getting back to Fayetteville Tech, man, like, okay, with you being a D2, and I wasn't worried about levels. What I wanted people to understand, yes, you hit it out the park with them being 2,500. I mean, to be honest, almost all your kids are going for free. Am I correct?
All of them going for free, and they're getting paid to go to school. I mean, it's a great deal.
Yeah. I mean, you can't beat that at all. So with that being said, do you have housing on campus, or are your guys in apartments? How does it work?
So with us, our campus is here, our apartments is right there, so they can pretty much throw a rock and hit campus.
Okay.
But we partner them up. We 2 bedrooms, 1 bath for 2 guys. They got a living room area, they got a kitchen area, and that's pretty much how they do it.
Okay. Now, do you work with Fayetteville State in regards to the cafeteria, or do you have your own cafeteria?
We have our own cafeteria on site.
Okay.
We also have food trucks that come through every Wednesday and Friday.
Man.
So,
boy, you bringing back memories there. I forgot about the food trucks. Well,
the food trucks be good now.
Yes, sir. Boy, listen, for you people out there, Fayetteville's food trucks are the truth, and they're very good. Very good.
Especially when them soul food trucks come around.
Yes, indeed. I used to always catch the one that used to be in Best Buy's parking lot all the time. I used to catch him all the time. I used to love that guy. He had me go down there on Sundays just looking for him.
Right.
Yeah, so now with Fayetteville Tech, we understand it's a technical school. What do they offer at Fayetteville Tech academic? Do they have, I'm assuming they have IT there with it being a tech school. What do they offer at Fayetteville Tech that, kids can get into and have an interest in?
That's a wide variety of programs, man. I mean, you have cybersecurity, you have IT, you got education, you have, engineering. It's just so many different things that you can get into. So the kids go and, they take their prereqs. And then they go on to the 4-year level. And Miss Jones, our academic advisor, she does a great job of making sure everybody's staying on track and they're going to graduate on time. And our guys, again, it goes back to the scholarship piece. They got to clock in 10 hours every week at study hall, regardless of, unless they got a 3.5 and above. So they got tutors in there to help them out if they need help writing a paper or, with math or something like that. So shout out to Miss Jones for overseeing that and making sure that those guys go in there and do what they're supposed to do. Coach Hurd has had the highest GPA. He's been there 5 years. He's had the highest GPA every year except for this year. So that's a great thing that, hold your hat on.
Gotcha. And, man, that's impressive there. I like that, man. I mean, man, I'm expecting big things from you guys, man. You guys are doing a heck of a job down there. And, man, anything I can do to help, man, I'm a phone call away, man. Definitely.
Appreciate it, man. We're just trying to continue to grow the program. It's a young program, but we're trying to grow. This year, we had a really, really big year growing. Again, we lost a whole bunch of guys. So, these guys at the 4-year level, like transfer portal, we're losing all these guys. At JUCO, we're used to that. So, we're bringing in a class of 11 to 12 guys, and we start from stretch, and we're going to introduce them to our culture, going to come in, do the right things, and, we're going to be out in the community doing community service, and because we're big on service. We're just going to be in the gym, working hard, getting that chip on our shoulders from day one, talking about tenacity, talking about being tenacious and, because 4-year coaches want guys with chip on their shoulders. And the thing about a JUCO guy is when they transfer to a 4-year school, they just like I am. I was appreciative of everything. So, coach gave me a shirt. I'm like, thanks, coach. Appreciate it. You know what I mean? That when you get a JUCO guy that's hungry, they're going to come in there and work for you every single day. So that's what we're all about.
So let me ask this. So do you guys, as the coaching staff, I'm assuming you go to the big shots and the Phenom tournaments, looking for kids, correct?
We do it a bunch of different ways, man.
Okay.
We go watch guys in the high school tournaments. We go to the big shots and the Phenom events. We call people like yourself we got relationships with and say, hey, who do we need to be on? At this level, you can't lazy recruit. You can't lazy recruit.
True.
You're bringing in 7, 8, 9. This year, we're bringing in 11, 12 guys because all of our guys are going on. So, as recruiting goes, you're going to get a lot more no's than you do yeses.
That's true.
But it's all about bringing in guys that fits the culture, man, of just being, dogs on the court, young men off the court, and guys, is all about that service.
So real quick, and I just want people to know, man, I want you to pop your collars on this one, man. Where are your kids going, man, this year? What 4-year schools are they going to?
Okay, so we have 6'9" Juwan Eddie. He has a whole bunch of Division I interests. He has offers from Shaw University, Mount Olive, Mars Hill. Dante is another post player of ours. He has D2 interests, Mars Hill, Mount Olive. So I could just keep naming them. Jaquil Gay, he has some NAIA, some D3 opportunities. So our guys got opportunities, man, and credit to those guys. Because like I told you, when they first got here as freshmen, man, they weren't heralded guys. They weren't guys that were real known. There were guys that just came in and just grinded and had grit and, had enthusiasm for the game of basketball, man. So, shout out to those guys. And again, we got guys that's from D1 to D2, D3, NAIA, don't matter. We're all about fit. We talk about fit from day one.
And man, and I'm glad I brought you on the show today. You're the first JUCO D2 that I brought on, but I wanted people to understand the situation is just as sweet as anybody else's level. You know what I mean? And if not better, a lot of times. You know what I mean? Yeah, JUCO D1s, they give the free scholarships, but like you said, at a JUCO, well, first of all, excuse me, 2,500, it got me choking. For real.
Yeah.
I was like, man, you kidding me? Shoot, I'll be looking at my son in 2 years like, hey, bro, listen, if I got to come out of pocket, I'm calling Coach McCain, be like, hey, we coming up there for 2,500, bro. For real.
Right.
Man, and all jokes aside, I know he would be taken care of. You know what I mean?
And that's the biggest thing for us, man. Yeah, you may have fancy facilities and this and that, and I could do this and I could do that for you, but it's bigger than a game of basketball. We're passionate about the young black men that we have in our hands. And like I said, man, I'm lucky to have line brothers that are in different industries. Like I said, Calvin Mims, retired military. Guys want to go military after they leave too. Then we're not going to stop talking to you after you leave. Boom, you got a connection. My LB, Eric Bradley, getting ready to be a principal. You want to get an education. It's a phone call away. So we talk about brotherhood and we really mean those type of things, That's what it's all about.
Man, it's beyond impressive. Anybody that's listening, man, you need to at least check out Fayetteville Tech. How can they take a look at Fayetteville Tech? How can the audience take a look at you, whether it's online? Tell them how they can reach you, man.
Man, our school has done a great job. We got a virtual tour. So you go to YouTube, Fayetteville Tech Community College campus tour. You see for yourself that, it's a beautiful campus. They do a good job with making sure the architecture looks good and everything is up to date, and the maintenance and the buildings are brand new. And the schools continue to grow and grow and grow. So I just tell people, hey, come see for yourself. I'm not going to sit here and I'm not a salesman. Come down, check out everything for yourself. And I haven't had a kid yet or a parent who hasn't liked what they saw.
Okay. Okay. And like I said, at the end of the day, whether they're going to the next level or not, that degree from Fayetteville Tech, because you got the base right there. I mean, it's valuable, man, because you can go over there and start applying for federal jobs as well.
Hey,
And that's what I want kids to understand. Like, it's bigger than basketball, like you just said. Okay, this ball is not 9 times out of 10 going to bounce for the rest of your life. So when it stops bouncing, yeah, you may be able to parlay it into a coaching job, or maybe a recruiting coordinator or something to that extent. But you need to have other avenues just in case that doesn't work for you. And we all know federal jobs work as well. They work very well.
they work very well. So
Yeah,
again, I know I said it as ad nauseum, but we don't, outside of the basketball court, we don't really talk about basketball that much. We feel like that part to take care of itself. If those guys, we hammer it home, having that chip on your shoulder and being a dog, and having tenacity. We feel like all that to take care of itself if you're working, but it's bigger than basketball. It's about relationships, and
yeah,
when I joined the greatest fraternity in the world, man, that's I met so many different people from different industries, and being a part of a brotherhood, it's taught me to have better relationships with the kids. And now we have kids who were here 2 years ago, 3 years ago, even before I got here. Hey, coach, I'm looking to get into this. Coach, I'm looking to do this. Coach, I'm getting married. I'm like, hey man, I'm only going to one wedding, so make sure this one legit. You know what I mean? Or I'm getting
man.
ready to have a baby. It's a big deal, man. And I got to salute Coach Herb for implementing that culture, man, and then just getting it together and kind of remixing it a little bit, and it's trying to improve it every year.
Man, and you know what? I know this might sound cliche, man. That's probably why we connected as soon as we met, man, because we try and implement that family culture, even from an AAU perspective, man. And like when I hear people talk the same language, I'm automatically like, oh man, we need to connect, because I know if we're sending our kids to you, I don't have nothing to worry about. I know I'm not going to get a call like, "Oh, coach, they're taking advantage of me," or "This isn't what I thought it was." I know it's going to be the same thing we're preaching, and in those situations, we're always going to connect, always. And you're going to call me and say, "Hey, what you got?" Or I'm going to say, "Hey, I got a kid," and I'm going to be totally confident to send them to you because I know they're taken care of.
For
One
sure,
hundred
for
percent,
sure.
man.
And being part of a family, you got different personalities. Things are going to
Sure.
happen. We're going to face
Yeah.
adversity. You know, um, Things are not going to be perfect. We're not going to like each other all the time. But through all the adversity, we're going to persevere through the situation. And at the end of the
Yeah.
day, we're going to reach our goals and,
Definitely.
whatever our future aspirations are.
Okay. Hey, man, listen, as you know, man, we can sit up here and talk for another hour or so, man. And I appreciate you for coming on. Number one, you already know I'm coming up there. Number two, man, we got some more stuff to talk about outside the show to make sure your kids are taken care of, man. And I may have some more coming to you as well, man. Listen, I mean, man, salute to what you're doing up there, man. I mean, people, 2,500 a year, not a semester, a year. I'll be the salesman. I'm fine with being the salesman. You're crazy if you don't at least take a look at that. You're crazy, because we always talk about our kids graduating and being in so much debt. You coming out scot free, scot free.
That's what it's about. And then so you go here scot free, and then you transfer, you get a scholarship.
You're on scholarship. Yeah, you
Now we're
good.
talking about first generation students. Now we're talking about graduating from college. We're talking about generational wealth. Like I said, we
Exactly.
can go on and on and on, but I mean,
Exactly.
it's a big deal.
It's a huge deal, man. And listen, man, this will not be the last time you're on the show, man. I mean, I appreciate you coming on, number one, but number two, man, you knocked this one out the box, man. I'm sure parents will be calling, asking about Fayetteville Tech, man. I mean, you're doing a great job. And like I said, the placement rate's at 90%. And what, this is your second or third year? It's only going to get better, man. And people that hear about this from out of state, they're like 6,000. Shoot, I'm good with that too, from out of
Right.
state. And 2,500 in state is just the outright steal. But 6,000, man, please. Like I said, I know our kids, we will be preaching that to them like, hey, you want an affordable option? You need to call my man. Matter of fact, I'll call him for you.
Right. And then we'll get on the phone and we'll make it work.
You know what it is. You already know, man. Hey, man, I appreciate you coming on, man. You know, like I said, man, you definitely knocked this one out the box. I'm definitely impressed with Fayetteville Tech, man. You know, I already knew about the area, but man, everything that you're talking about, what you guys do down there, man, that's big, man. That's real big, man. And shouts out and salute to you, man.
For sure, man. Like I said, it starts with with Coach Hurd, man, and his vision, and trickles on down to myself. But we're all one, man. We work together, and I feel like as we work together, this program will continue to grow, man, and it has unbelievable potential.
Man, when we get a chance, probably next season, we're going to try our best, man, to get up there and catch a game, man, as a team. We're going to try and get our team up there to see you guys, man, because I want them to see this whole culture, this whole atmosphere. I want them to see it from a JUCO level as well, a JUCO D2 level. It's not about levels like we always talk about. I want them to see every level from JUCO, from NAI to D3. And this is just something I want them to see. So by the time they're seniors, they've seen every level so they can make a very good choice.
Yeah, because we want to cut down on those these guys in the transfer portal, man. Not blaming the kids, not blaming the coaches, but we got to do something about it, man. Because I mean, 1,500 names in the portal. I mean,
man,
it hurts high school kids tremendously, man. It cuts down on their opportunities.
Exactly, and they talking about by July it's going to be up to 2,000, man.
Right.
That's insane. You know, 2,000 kids in the portal, and we know every kid is not going to get picked up.
Every kid's not going to get picked up. High school kids not going to get picked up. I mean, just all around, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. Now, from your perspective, you may be able to pick off a couple from the portal, and that's going to happen. You're going to start getting contacted about, see those kids that don't get these scholarships, they're going to be calling you now because they say, hey, if I got to pay, I want to pay 2,000 or 6,000. And hey, can I get on, coach? And unfortunately, you're going to get to the point where your spots are full. You know what I mean?
No doubt about it. And the thing about that is we don't want to be your last option. You know, we want people that want to be here because It's going to get tough. It's going to get tough. And if I got to twist your arm to get here, then when it gets tough, you're going to walk away. So you're not going to practice perseverance. So definitely want guys that want to be here.
Definitely, man. Well, Coach McCain, man, I appreciate you, man. Listen, listeners, Fayetteville Tech, definitely take a look. How can they reach you, Coach?
Reach me at Coach D McCain on Twitter. That's the best way to reach me. I'm always on Twitter trying to give out good content about junior college basketball and educate people about it. Junior college basketball. I think junior college is going to continue to grow. So please give me a follow. I'm not one of these coaches that won't respond. I don't care who you are. I love talking about hoops and about life. So give me a follow at Coach D McCain, and we can definitely chop it up.
Definitely, man. Well, you know we're going to chop it up, man. That's a weekly thing now. We definitely going to chop it up. And shout out to my man, Dave Gordon, man, you know, up in Pittsburgh. You know, that's my high school teammate, man. So, you know, he spoke highly of you. I was like, oh, man, I already know. You don't have to tell me. I already knew.
Coach, a great guy. Great guy.
Yeah, definitely, man. So we definitely going to talk some more, man. And like I said, man, if you come down to Atlanta to any of the tournaments, man, you know to holler at me. Definitely.
I definitely am. I'm gonna check out some JUCO tournaments, so I'm definitely gonna get with you.
Oh, yeah, we'll talk about that because there's a number of them coming up too. So yeah, we'll talk about that. Okay, man. Well, you take care, man. And like I said, we will definitely be in touch, man. Coach McCain, man, I appreciate you, brother.
No problem, man. God bless you. Thank you.
All right, man. Take care, man.
You too.
All right. Coach McCain, man. Hey, listen. Fayetteville Tech, I mean, even let's take out the sports side of it. If your money's low and you're trying to get to college and you're serious about it, that's a very valuable option right there. I mean, don't get me wrong, man. I look at it from this perspective, like it's not always about basketball. You get that 4-year degree for $2,500, well, basically for 2 years for $5,000, and you got a 2-year degree. Man, please. There's nothing to even talk about on that. You all better start taking a look at these type of options that are very affordable. And that's the biggest thing. Very affordable, and it's a valuable option. Our next coach, man, great guy. Coach Eggleston from Rhode Island College. How you doing, man?
Hey, what's going on, Coach?
Man, I'm good, man. I'm good, man. Just trying to educate these people about JUCO, D3, NAI. You know, the small guy got to get his turn, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure, man. I appreciate you having me on.
Man, anytime, man. I appreciate you coming on, man. So, I want people to be educated about Rhode Island College. You bring a different little spill to the game, man. So tell me about Rhode Island College, man.
All right, man. So we are located in North Providence, Rhode Island. Um, it's a great campus. Over 6,000 undergrads on campus. From a basketball standpoint, 98% of the players on our team live on campus. Our campus is it's one street, so you got your academic buildings on one side of the campus, you got your dorm rooms on the other side of campus, and at each end of campus we have a basketball facility. So it's a
Okay.
really nice college town. There's a whole lot of colleges in the area. So you got Providence College, about 8-10 minutes away. Johnson Wales University, that's another Division III. You got Brown University, Division I, um, Bryant University. So we got a lot of colleges in the same area. So there's a lot of things for our athletes to do, and all of our athletes have a great time.
So let's get right into it. So when you talk about your facilities, I want people to understand your facilities, even as a D3. You all have some very popular showcases that are played on your facilities.
Yeah. So the National Prep Showcase is
Hmm.
one of the biggest prep showcases in the New England area. Is held on our campus. So
Exactly.
around, like, I believe it's around the December time frame.
Hmm.
You get a whole lot of NBA players. Before they make it big, they're playing on our courts. They're playing they're in our facilities. So and then we also hold like a whole bunch of AU events. Like we have the Providence Jam Fest as well.
That's Hoop Group, right?
Yep, that's Hoop Group. Yep, that's Hoop
Mhm.
Group. So got the Providence Jam Fest, and we host a whole bunch of events. But the big prep showcase is held in our campus.
Got you. So to touch on Providence College, I'm sorry, excuse me, Rhode Island College, as what you guys do that's special. My understanding is you have a reputation for sending kids overseas.
Yep, for sure. So I would say every year since I actually played professionally overseas in England. I played over there. Um and also got my master's degree over there as well. So I was able to do both at the same time. So every year since I came back, graduated in 2016, and then I was out overseas for a year. After I finished my schooling up, finished my year out there, I decided to come back, and I finished my MBA as well when I got back from the States. When I got back in the States, finished my MBA, and actually started my coaching career. So,
Okay.
so I did that. So every year since I've been back, every year since I've been coaching, I've been fortunate enough to be able to help either my own college athletes, the guys that I coach, or if I know any coaches that have anybody that kind of fit the description, and that can hoop, I help them get over there. So I've been able to send a kid overseas every year since I've been an assistant coach.
Wow, that's impressive, man. And I want people to understand, everybody has this misconception that you either got to be high D1 or mid major or maybe the best of the best D2. We know that's nonsense because, like you said, you're sending D3 people there. The NAI kids are going overseas. Everybody's path is a lot different. It doesn't have to be you're on ESPN every night in order to get overseas or to play professionally. You can play D3. And that's why I've been so adamant in having guys like yourself on the podcast. So they'd be like, hey, I send people overseas too. You need to
Yep.
consider what I do as well.
Exactly, man. Exactly. So So for me personally, I was able to get over there because a very close family friend. His name is R.J. Evans. He's an assistant coach over at Division I Holy Cross right now.
Yeah.
He's a big time high school player. He's a big time college player. Scored over 1K in college. Had a great career. He was able to go over there first, over in England, and then he did a great job. He killed it over there. Obviously, he was a big time Division I player and everything, so he killed it. He made some connections. Then he sent his sister over there. His sister played at the University of Kentucky. Her name is Cassidy Evans. She played at the University at Kentucky. Went to the Elite Eight almost every year she was there. She killed it over there. And then I was next up, and they seen how hungry I was and everything. They seen how hard I was working. And they seen I was putting up some nice stats at the Division III level and everything, and I was killing it. And they helped me find the right fit, the right program over there. So, and for me personally, my big thing, and this is what I like to tell everybody that's thinking about going overseas and everything like that. You have to really think about the future when you're making these decisions, because a lot of kids think all opportunities overseas are equal. But there's a lot of people over there that aren't making a whole lot of money overseas, but they're out there playing just to stay there overseas. And they stay over there for 5, 6, 7 years. And then by the time you come back over to the States, you're about almost 30 years old, or you're over 30 years old, and you don't have much money to show for it. And you don't have a lot of experience as well. So for me personally, I was thinking ahead after I graduated with my undergraduate degree, and I was trying to focus on. I was like, hey, like, I don't want to go unless I can get. I don't want to go out there unless I could. I could work. I could work towards my postgraduate degree as well. So that's something I encourage. Even Division III, all the way up to Division I, to think about. Like, hey, like, you got to think about the future too, because unfortunately, some injuries do happen, and there's outside sources that come into the picture. And if you get that master's degree, if you get that postgraduate degree, you're just setting yourself up for success in the future.
Definitely. I agree with you 100%, man. And, you know, that was one of the main reasons I wanted to make sure you came on the show, man, because when we first met, gosh, it's almost been a year almost. When we first met and you were telling me about these options, and I was like, wait a minute. And I was like, I had to really think of it. It wasn't even about researching it. I mean, I knew it was legit, but I was like, man, I never even thought about being able to go overseas and still work on your master's while you're over there. Is that correct?
Yep, exactly, man. And people don't understand, like, when you get over there, like, once I got over there, obviously I was playing against guys I seen on TV at the Division I level. There was guys that played at schools like Kentucky, schools like Notre Dame, and the teams that you see are mixed up. And there are a lot of Division III guys over there that are killing it. They're Division III guys over there that are the top scorers in the leagues. Actually, a Division II guy that was on my team, he actually got he was the player of the year over there, and he killed it. And he's from
Okay.
a Division II school. He's going against guys from Notre Dame, and same thing with myself. Like, I went over there, I had some really good numbers, and I was able to compete really well over there. And our team was able to make it to the Final Four for the first time in program history. So because I had success over there, I'm able to kind of help our young guys get over there as well.
Gotcha. And that's big, man. Like you said, you're sending somebody over there all the time, man. And I mean, that's just as big as getting into college. I mean, getting into, yeah, you're getting into college, but man, to get over there and play, and then on top of being able to play, to be able to work on your masters, man. I mean, that's big right there. That's huge. So, like you said, when you do come back, you have something to show for it. Now, I can't even speak on the money you're making over there, but what you're bringing back with that piece of paper with that MBA, man, that
It's
right there in
priceless.
itself, yeah, it's priceless.
Priceless,
It's,
man.
it's priceless. So, man, I'm just looking at this like, man, that's something at some point, man. We need to expound on that bigger, man, to see if we can get more kids over there in this type of program, man.
Yeah,
That's huge, man.
yeah, for sure, man, for sure. So, So I was actually I was working with my coach from overseas and everything. Me and him are really close. And he's still running a great program over there. It's still successful, still doing their thing out there. And I was actually I was working with him, and we're actually discussing different options for us to kind of either get like a camp going where I can, because right now I can only help people that I know. You know what I'm saying? I can only help people that I know, and for individuals that um, like have those aspirations to actually want to go to school and or overseas and play professionally, there's a lot of opportunities, but you got to know the right people to get over there. So and
Yeah.
you got to meet certain criteria. So for the individuals that do meet a certain criteria and everything, um it's almost like if you want to get in contact with me, definitely shoot me an email or anything. I love helping young guys out. And the big thing with me is, and my coach over there that I still talk to this day and everything, um we stay in contact all the time. And the big thing is, whenever he has a recruiter, somebody that's thinking about going over there, he sends him my number because he knows I'm going to give him that same speech that I'm giving you right now about, hey, like,
Yeah.
you got to think about the future. Like, you got to invest in yourself, and it's only 1 year out of your life, and you're still playing professionally. You're still playing professionally, and it's just one more year of school, and you're setting yourself up for the rest of your life.
Yeah. Got you. So, hey, man, you guys are y'all giving some jewels tonight, man. Between this, getting your MBA, and going to JUCO for $2,500 for the whole year,
I
bruh.
heard that was nice, man. When he said
Yeah,
that, I was like, oh wow. I was like, what?
man,
I was
that's what
like,
I was
damn.
like, man. And I just want kids to be able to find these opportunities. So let's say they got to go to Long Road, they got to go to JUCO. Okay, you find Fayetteville Tech for 2,500, and then Coach McCain gives you a call, and this kid now is able to go get his MBA and play overseas. Man, that's a kid's wildest dream right there. You know what I'm saying? This is wildest dream. Thinking a kid persevered from JUCO to D3 to playing professionally, and now he got his master's, and he's going to come back and be able to, contribute to society in a successful way. Man, I, this is going to be one of them shows I definitely save here, bro. I mean, it's crazy, man. I mean, salute to you, salute to Coach McCain, man. I mean, more brothers need to hear this, man. More basketball players need to hear this, man, because it's more than just, I mean, we all love the game. So it's not even about the love of the game, but it's what are you going to do when it's over?
Exactly. That, hey, I'm glad you said that, Dave. I'm glad you said that, because this is the thing. Like, when I'm watching a lot of young men today and the decisions that they make, is heartbreaking, because that's a question that gets put on the back burner a lot of the time, and by the time kids are ready to answer it, sometimes it's too late. So for me,
Yeah,
whenever I come in contact with young men today, I let them know, like, hey, like, listen, I was a Division III player. I was able to go overseas. And I tell them about the whole postgraduate degree and everything as well. Like, hey, maybe you should think about this, just to put different things in their head, because a lot of kids, like, people get all caught up today in social media and all of the posts, and everybody thinks it's all glamorous. Like, you got to go over to Spain and do all that stuff. Like, those places are nice. If you can do that, fine. But there are a lot of other opportunities out there, and there are a lot of ways that you can set yourself up for success in the future.
man. To be honest, as I'm hearing you talk more about this, man, we're gonna have to collaborate on something, man, to make this happen, man. We definitely got to collaborate, man. Whether it's up north or down south or both, man. I mean, this is, in my mind, this is needed, man. This is beyond needed. And so many kids don't even know about these opportunities. And, for some kids, all it takes is getting the right information and being put in the right situation, like you said, man.
Yeah.
And they,
Exactly, man. And the thing is, like, and it's tough because, like, especially when you get overseas, you notice, because overseas, after your college career is over with, you can keep playing. You can play in the NBL. You can play in the National Basketball League. You can play up until you're 40 years old. You know what I
yeah,
mean? You can even start when you're younger. You can start when you're like 16. You can start when you're in high school. You can start playing professionally overseas a lot earlier. And you can play up until you're 40 years old. But in the States, it's kind of tough because after college it kind of stops and people don't know what to do unless you have those connections or unless you have that know-how. It's
Yeah.
tough, and if you're not taking care of business from day one, like if you don't have the grade point average or whatever, if you're not taking care of business in school, it's going to be tough because and it hurts a lot of kids because sometimes they find out about this opportunity too late. Like they find out about it like junior year, and the first 2 years
They was
they
playing.
may not have like the best grades or whatever. Then when they realize it's like, oh, like I got to pick it up. I got to pick it up. I mean, for me, I was fortunate enough to have a lot of individuals that have been able to be successful before me that have done things like that. So I got to see it. So for me, I feel like it's my job to kind of pass the torch and keep giving that information and to help young men as people help me.
Definitely, man. And man, you're doing a great job of it, man. I'm just looking at this like, well, first off, man, let the listeners know how can they contact you, man.
Yep. So you can reach out to me on Instagram. My Instagram handle is at ieggleston.com. So that's at IEGGLESTON. Yep. So you can reach me on Instagram there. On Twitter, you can hit me up anytime. I message everybody back. So if you're a younger kid and you got some questions, you're in high school, you got questions, don't hesitate to reach out, man. I'm an open book. So if you want to ever get on the phone or whatever, you can reach me on Twitter at Rising Star, one word, no spaces, at Rising Star 2016.
So I almost forgot to ask these questions as well, man. We just got so into this. Man, with Rhode Island College, man, what do they offer academically? What does Rhode Island College offer?
So 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 academically, we have a ton of majors at Rhode Island College, and that's a big selling point for us. So we have so I would say our biggest majors are probably our biggest major on campus is our nursing department. That's one of the top programs in the nation, I would say, in that department. But a lot of our players do education, a lot of our players do business, a lot of our players do psychology. So I would say those are like the top four majors at Rhode Island College.
Okay. Okay. So let me ask this, and I'm pretty sure I know the answer to this, but I want to ask. So if I do my 4 years at Rhode Island College and I'm looking at doing graduate work at Rhode Island College, can I be a grad assistant on the team?
That's something that I did, actually. That's something I did. So like I said, I went overseas and I came back and I got my MBA paid for, and I was a graduate assistant at a previous school before Rhode Island College. But no,
But can
that's
you
something
do it
that
at Rhode Island College? That's what I'm asking. Can you do it at Rhode Island College?
at Rhode Island College. Yeah, I mean, we definitely have a program like that. I mean, um, it's that would have to go through our head coach and everything like that. But obviously,
Gotcha.
we have a player that that's going above and beyond that we think he wants to get into coaching. Did we supposed to do all 4 years and everything? That's definitely an option. And
Okay.
and one big thing about our program and our head coach Tom Glenn and everything is we're a big family organization. You know what I'm saying? So if we can't help you get there, if you can't do it at Rhode Island College, we have connections where we can talk to other coaches, and we're gonna make sure you get that done. So
Gotcha.
that's a big thing for us is we make sure our guys are all set after college. So if we can't help you, if we can't get you a graduate assistantship at Rhode Island College specifically, we're gonna set you up where you can get somewhere and do it. We're gonna put you in front of the right people where you can be able to accomplish those goals.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay. Sounds good, man. So just real quick, because we didn't really even touch on this. Tell me about the conference Rhode Island College plays in.
Yeah, so we play in the LEC, which stands for the Little East Conference.
Okay.
Yep. So it's a tough conference. Um, oh look. So I'll give you a little story just to tell you kind of how tough our conference is. So last year, um, it was our conference is so tough. We had a four-way tie for third place. For third place in conference around playoff time. It was a four-way tie for third place. It was four teams that was locked up at one spot. That just lets you know, like it's a slugfest when we get into conference play. You're playing against 6'7", 6'6", big point guards, guys that played at higher levels that transferred down to play in our conference because of competition. So you're definitely gonna be challenged in our conference, and it's no walk in the park, man. It's no walk in the park. I feel like in our conference, any team could beat any team on any given night.
So, in your opinion, do you feel like the teams in your conference are just as good as some D2 teams?
Oh, of course. There's
Okay.
no question. No question. No
Okay.
question.
All right. So do those D2 teams ever try to play you all in preseason?
I don't know if it would make sense for the Division II schools. I know we would be open to playing them if possible, but that opportunity hasn't come across our desk yet. But
Gotcha.
we have played some Division Ones, and yeah, I mean we have a good time playing in Division One. So last year we played URI. This year we played Bryant University. First semester in like the heat of the COVID, which was an experience. We got and everything, so it was a great experience for our guys. But each year we at least get one Division One game.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay. Hey, man, like I said, man, I mean, what you guys are doing up there, man, I definitely wanted to have you on, man, because what you're doing, man, is this next level, man, and I just wanted people to know more about you, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I appreciate it. I appreciate you having me on. I appreciate the opportunity to be able to tell a bit of my story. And I mean, if anybody ever has any,
Can you repeat that? You went out for a minute. Can you repeat that?
hey, Coach, can you hear me?
I can barely hear you going in and out. Okay.
Hey, Coach,
What about? Yeah, I can hear you now. I can hear you now. Can you hear me? You're going in and out again.
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Okay, good. I can hear you now.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Hey, Coach, I just said I appreciate you having me on. If anybody needs to reach me or anything, you can definitely give them my contact information. And I just thank you for the opportunity and everything to be able to tell a bit of my story.
Okay, sounds good. I'll definitely make sure I get all the listeners your opportunity, and I'll tweet it out as well to make sure they can contact you. All right. So that was Coach Eggleston right there. Great guy. I look at that like people. The show we've had tonight, I mean, there's levels to this. And with there being levels to this, you got to understand what fits you best. Those two options right there are life changing. If you go to Fayetteville Tech, you're going for free, basically. And if you're not going for free, you can work a summer job and be able to pay your tuition for the year. That's number one. If you're going to Rhode Island College, you're having the opportunity to go overseas and play and get your MBA. All right. What more can we say? I mean, these are opportunities that people dream about. And I just want people to be able to understand what's going on more without here, in the basketball world. Please, by any means necessary, you do what you need to do, because when that ball stops bouncing, I hate to see guys that are talking the same way they were 30 and 40 years ago. I used to be the man. I used to do that. And you're still living in yesteryear because you can't let go and move forward with your life. So, please take advantage of what basketball can offer you. Real quick, before we go to our next segment, I wanted to do some shout outs because we had a number of people commit and one person get an offer. I want to congratulate Zako Littleton for committing to the University of Memphis. I also wanted to congratulate Umar Rashid for committing to Case Western University. I also wanted to congratulate Aja Smith from Marietta High School committing to South Carolina State. She was definitely one of the ones that we showcased on the unsigned segment. And Marietta won the state championship for girls 7A, and now she's headed to South Carolina State. Congratulations again. And Krista Narcisse, we profiled her on as a player of the week, and Dillard University just offered the young lady. She's a 2023, so she got a ways to go, but her future is definitely bright. Getting into our last segment, really, there were some players I wanted to show, but due to some difficulties, we only had one person that we wanted to show, and that is Brianna McCray from Dublin High School out in Dublin, Georgia. And the reason why I wanted to show her is Brianna's high academic. She's out of Dublin, Georgia. She has a 4.0 GPA. She's a 5'11" shooting guard, and she's a senior, so she's 2021. So coaches, definitely by all means, you might want to take this person and take a look at her, because high academics, UAAs, you might want to take a look at this one. Nice little set shot there. Looks like our highlight is freezing up on us. Give it one moment. We'll see if we can bring it back up in one moment. But I definitely wanted to. I'm going to post her highlights on the Hoops Hidden Gems page, because it's a situation where at 4.0, somebody needs to give her an opportunity, and she can play. And I wanted people to see what she can do. I apologize, Huddle. I want to shake my finger at you because you guys freeze a lot of times when we try and play these highlights. But I will put her highlights on the Hoops Hidden Gems page. So coaches, definitely take a look at this young lady. For her to have a 4.0, she deserves a number of opportunities, and I'm pretty confident she will get some more. I have two other people that when I look at this, this one guy, I'm telling you, you need to remember this name. Dorian, I'm telling you, Dorian is one of those kids that plays for Georgia Man Up. He has been lighting it up. And when I say lighting it up, he's one of those kids, all he needs is an opportunity, whether it's NAI or D2. Coaches, you are missing out when I say this kid can play. Highlights on Dorian. Man, don't take my word. What's up, bro?
You can take my word if you want to listen to me. I don't know if anybody wants to listen to me, but they can if they
can.
Need to. I don't want to force anybody, but if you look, man, Dorian's a winner. That's the most important thing I can say. He's a winner. He bought in immediately. Everything we asked him to do. Came out of high school as a absolute sniper and a scorer. Decided, hey, I'm going to play defense and facilitate and knock down open shots in AAU. Like, who makes that type of sacrifice in AAU as a guard to say, you know, I'm going to prove to everybody that I can play the point guard position. Went to Corey Black's JUCO showcase, and what did he do?
Did a phenomenal job.
Won a championship. All he does is win. You talking about guys that are 2-year JUCO players, right, that were at that camp. And Dorian is one of the best guards at the camp and leads his team to a championship. We have 4 man-up guys on the same team And of course, they won the whole thing. But tremendous basketball player, patient as they come, knockdown jump shot. But I think these highlights will kind of show you exactly what you're getting when you get this kid. So this is Dorian Douglas out of Valdosta High School. Patient, running the pick and roll, sees his teammate in the corner, gets an assist. Patient again. I can take this ball screen. I can knock down a shot. Got a big fella in the post. Don't let my big fella eat. Finding the big guys down low, looking diagonal like he's supposed to. But I'm tough. Follow up, get the rebound, put back. But this is what he does best. Knockdown. Shots, man. There's no rim. These shots aren't touching the rim for him. Wide open. One of the best one dribble pull-ups in the state with Dorian Douglas. Outlet. I'm running, stretching the defense. That's too easy. Knockdown. That's what Dorian Douglas is to me. If you ask, what does he do well? It's all of those things.
All of the above.
He does all of those things well. In a day where we how many AAU tournaments do we watch where we ask, do kids even know how to post entry anymore? Feed the post? Do they even know how to do it anymore? Do I understand the angles? This is a kid that does it. In a AAU game where kids are the most selfish version of themselves normally, this kid is feeding the post and leading teams and winning games. Georgia man up 12-0, by the way, in AAU.
Yes, sir.
Last kid, 6'7", Perry Robinson. Running the floor, doing what a 6'7" kid is supposed to do. Finishing with 2 hands. Being patient, has that feel. That kid bit on that jump shot because Perry knocked down a 3 on a previous possession. Follow it, 2-hand finish. Bully him. Too big, too strong. But a lot of these, I want you to see 6'7" and change, between 6'7" and 6'8", 6'7" and change, but ability to run the floor. We're talking about a skilled basketball player. Being able to run the floor, being able to catch, soft hands, able to finish with either hand around the basket. And again, they bite on those up fakes at the three-point line because he can knock that shot down.
Yeah, gotta respect it. Yeah,
gotta respect it. This is a kid that higher levels can be a 3, is guarding very well on the perimeter. If you play that small ball, which the NBA a lot of times does, people not paying attention. In the NBA, a lot of times your 4-man is 6'8". Perry's right there at 6'7" and change, almost 6'8". Great mid-range, good three-point shot, can handle the ball, can put it on the floor. Very skilled kid. It's a kid guys got to come out and get.
Definitely. And listen, this is for the culture. It's not just for our program. For any of those kids that are showing this type of that show what Dorian shows, we have no problem showing you. I don't want you to think this is just a one-stop shop. There's kids like Dorian. Hey, point them out to us, send them to us. But if you want to be honest, I haven't seen a kid on Dorian's level that has been that hungry this AAU season yet. He's out to prove folks wrong with a chip on his shoulder. And you'll see when he tweets, he's proud of being from South Georgia. He's definitely proud of it. And it's a situation where he's trying to prove people wrong. Like, no, he's not from Atlanta, but he belongs with everybody of the best. Let's put it like that, plain and simple.
For sure. He's a kid to me that his best is in front of him. He's gonna make some program extremely happy. We're talking about a high academic kid,
Yeah.
3.6 GPA.
Yep.
Yes sir, no sir type of kid, quiet, kind of, just goes about his business of basketball, of playing the game the right way. So I think both of these guys, Perry and Dorian, have set out this season to prove people wrong, because there are a lot of things that get said. Dorian, they talk about his size. He is 6 foot, right? Like, so he's not tiny, but people who, take, I don't know if he's big enough. I don't know if he's athletic enough. They said the same thing about Adam Flagler. They said the exact same thing. Oh, I don't know. He shoots it good, but I don't know if he shoots it well enough. He's not big enough. He's not athletic enough. Adam Flagler goes from Presbyterian to Baylor, and they're winning the national championship. About somebody that said the exact same thing about when Huff was trying to tell people that how good Adam Flagler was. Dorian Douglas is a winner. That's just period. He wins you basketball games. He's going to come in and do things to help you win basketball games. Same thing, Perry Robinson. Sent his tape out to 2 coaches who previously were recruiting him before. Oh, wow, he's doing a great job. He's on the glass. He's really rebounding. His motor has improved. Hey, coach, sometimes when you go off to post-grad, you grow up a little bit. And that's what happened with this kid, right? And it certainly helps. 6'7", long wingspan, athletic, can run the floor, and knows how to score. But sometimes when we talk about fit, there's also a thing when it comes to timing. The time has to be right for a kid. And these are 2 kids where the timing is right. They have matured. They understand what this game means to them and how important the game is to them. And they're taking advantage of every opportunity.
Definitely agree, man. I mean, I look at these 2. I would not be surprised to see if they see success on the next level, because they get what needs to happen now. You understand? It's a situation where, both of them are in the gym, and it's evident that they're in the gym, but now it's showing what you can do. And now you're doing it against top-notch competition, and you're doing it against shoe teams, and now you're opening eyes.
It was very early on, making calls. Will Freeman the same way, making calls for these guys, and coaches did not know who they were.
Exactly. Yes.
That's how the AAU season started for me with their recruitment. I would say probably the first 2 tournaments that we played in, a lot of coaches didn't know who they were. Now, this week, as I've been making calls and follow-ups to coaches, now people, when I say Dorian's name, they say, oh, the Valdosta kid, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So they're starting to understand who he is, but it's a grind. COVID put these guys in a very tough situation. Never played a live period. We're talking about kids who have never been able to play a live period in front of coaches. The only thing people have seen on them is film. So it's made it very, very difficult. But 2 guys that have won a lot of basketball games and have been pretty responsible for doing so. So guys that people need to come and see.
Agreed 100% on that. Definitely agreed. I mean, if you want to see some good basketball, these are guys. When you want to see some good team basketball, that's one thing that's going to stand out with this team. This team is very unselfish, and for a team to be very unselfish on the AAU level, that speaks volumes. That speaks volumes, because as we all know, everybody that's 17U, they're trying to get theirs because they're trying to get seen. A lot of these guys are sacrificing what they normally would be doing for the sake of the good of the team. And it's working out great. And people are noticing because you're beating teams by playing unselfish like that.
100%. And, like I said, we can take some flack about using our platform to promote our organization. But this is the thing, 12-0. If I didn't have players, I wouldn't do this. We could have used this platform to promote our 2023 team a long time ago, right? It's not their time yet. So, you know, using this platform to promote these kids because they've earned it and they deserve it and they can play at the next level. So, I want to make sure that people understand that we're talking about players that it just come and watch them play. Ask me for game film. I have full game film of these players, and if I'm selling you a bag of goods, call me on it. I dare you to watch the film of these guys play and tell me they're not college level players.
Agree. Definitely agree, man.
Pepsi challenge on that one, D.
Hey, listen, they'll apologize when it's over with. They'll apologize when it's over with. Let's just put it like that.
For sure.
You know, and we haven't even mentioned the other monster, Sean Rutledge. You know what I'm saying? We haven't even mentioned the other monster.
Sean Rutledge, Will Freeman, who went in our last event, probably his best event. And again, Will's a guy that doesn't get mentioned very much. Will Freeman is a state champion. The only state championship that Baldwin County has ever won in the history of the school, Will Freeman hit the game winner over Caleb Banks, who is everything, will probably win Mr. Georgia basketball this coming season. 6'8", plays for the Atlanta Celtics. That was Will Freeman making that shot over Caleb to win the state championship. Talking about somebody else that is a winner, high academic kid, I think 3.9 something GPA or something like that. Will Freeman is another one of those players, and why he fits so well. He's a winner. He's a winner. They win first. So that's why, man, Georgia Man Up has been successful this year at 17U. It's because of those guys.
Couldn't agree with you more, man. And, you know, it's a long season. And with it being a long AAU season and us just getting kicked off, you'll start to see some other names that you haven't heard. And you'll see some 2022s. You'll see some 2023s. But you know what? Those guys are still developing. And there's no shame in saying that they're still developing. I think there'll be some guys from 2022 and 2023 that will surprise a lot of people in due time. In due time.
Can't wait to introduce the world to Lathan Levens.
Yeah, I love that
Dog.
kid. Love that kid. Love
Goon.
it.
Hey, Goon, if he comes to Atlanta and plays his senior year in Atlanta, he's a kid that everybody knows by the end of the season.
Agree. Definitely agree.
Dog.
He definitely has the tools to make some noise. 100% on that. And if you don't know him now, you will get to know him. It's just a matter of, and I hate to say this, you know, if he's in Atlanta, yeah.
I got a second state championship in school history for Baldwin. I missed the state championship somewhere.
And look, Baldwin, it wasn't me. Tell Dre to watch his tone.
I apologize to Milledgeville.
So we got state championships. You trying to play us.
But Will did hit the game winner, though.
But Will is tough, though. And that's what people don't understand. Will is tough. And at the end of the day, I hate that he's getting overlooked, but it's just a situation where, you know, people have to understand, man, listen, this guy can play. Dre, go ahead and pull that up. And so for Brianna McCray, we apologize for that because that's on Huddle. And Huddle froze up. We would love to play her. So what we're going to do is we're going to put it on the Hoops Hitting Gems page for everybody to see. So with Huddle freezing, it didn't make sense to play it, and you're only getting a piece of it, and you can't really see what this young lady can really do. But Dre, she can play, guy. She can play.
So I watched the highlight backstage before we try to play it, but it is an issue that Huddle has with this platform that when we try to share those videos and play it live, a lot of times with Huddle, it freezes. We have to try to download those clips and then play it back because playing it off the Huddle site, it freezes up. So
unfortunately,
watch it before.
But what we're going to do is we're going to put it on the site. We're going to put it on WBB Gems. So WBB Gems, that's Twitter. That's the Twitter handle. We're going to put it on there later on tonight. So not only everybody that's watching the show can see it, but for the 300 coaches that are on that site can see it as well.
For sure.
Because she deserves it, bro. She can play, and she got a 4.0. I mean,
very talented.
Yeah, very talented. So, coaches, we apologize that you couldn't see it, but you will be able to see the link, and you'll be able to see the link if you play it on your own. Yes, sir, Coach. You already know what it is. You already know. GA's loaded with talent, hands down. That's Coach McCain that was on earlier, bro. You know, hey bro. I'm sorry, Dre. It's 9 o'clock, but bro, 2,500 to go to Fayetteville Tech, guy, for the year.
I knew you were on that.
But you know me when it comes to that money, guy. 2,500.
JUCO's. This is my thing. JUCO's period is for a lot of kids. It's a good situation for a lot of kids because my thing is, even if you go to JUCO and you redshirt for a year, it's still cheaper than going post grad.
Yeah.
So I know, the prep and post grad is the option that everybody wants, but it may not necessarily be the best option. Like this is my thing. We go back and we talk about Dorian and we talk about Will. Because they're so their grades, their GPAs are so high. I don't know that they decide to go JUCO, but if they do, right, we're talking about two kids that if they get into a college weight program, continue to develop their body and continue to work on their game, right, that the schools that were passing on them this year, to me, if you're an NAIA or a D2 school and you're passing on these two kids, you're making a mistake.
Definitely.
These are 4-year program changing. By the time they're seniors, these guys are all conference players, right? But that's fine. If you pass on them now and they go JUCO, you may not get them when they come out.
That's facts right there. And see, that's what people don't understand. Yeah, you may say, I don't know right now, but in 2 years, you didn't tell me. Yes, we did. Yes, we did.
The only thing, like these guys, again, they go JUCO, they develop their body, and they come out and they immediately pass the eye test. You're not getting them.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Now the Presbyterians of the world, the upstates of the world, those guys, NJIT, those guys are coming to see Dorian at that point. You're not getting them now. So, but that's the game that we play when it comes to recruiting. But I do understand what coaches is just it's tough. COVID makes it tough. Guys aren't traveling the way they normally would. A lot of film is being sent out. So it's really making recruiting difficult.
Agree. Definitely agree, man. And I think that's why this platform is so important, man. I mean, kids like Dorian, it's a travesty, like this kid deserves an opportunity somewhere. Definitely deserves an opportunity. I mean, he's in AAU ball lighting it up. He's tough as nails. He's playing unselfish. Like I said, he's playing point guard and he's setting up his big men, feeding them, and his big men are eating because of him playing unselfish. And to be honest, that's been the key to the runs we're making and staying on top of teams, because all of them, and it's not just him, it's all of them, because like I said, Will's a knockdown shooter. Will's playing unselfish. You know what I'm saying?
Great defender.
Exactly.
He's a great defender.
Yeah, definitely. And, even down to Perry and Sean, I mean, they in there doing the dirty work. You know what I'm saying? Those are guys that can put up 25 to 40. But it's for the sake of the team. They're putting up 16, 18, 19, and everybody's eating. I mean, Dre, if you look at it, if you look at some of them score sheets, we got 5 players in double figures.
On a 7-man roster.
Yeah. We got 5 players in double figures. And the 6th person has like 8 points. He's like right there.
But it starts from the leadership, right? When Dorian is unselfish, when Perry is doing what people said that he could not do, which is passing extremely well out of those post-ups. When those two guys are being unselfish, everybody else has to buy in.
Mm-hmm. But everybody eats as well. That's the thing. Because now you're getting easy buckets because you're cheating on those guys. You're cheating on Dorian. You're cheating on Perry. You're cheating on Sean. Now you got Will. Are you kidding me? That's knockdown city.
All those lanes that Lathan is finding, it's because the ball is continuing to move. Lathan is attacking bad closeouts, and he's taking advantage of those situations, finding driving lanes, creating opportunities for a lot of his teammates. That's another unselfish kid. How many guards do we know over penetrate, and then once they get into the lane, throw up some nonsense at the rim? Lathan's not doing that. He's getting to the rim. He's playing off of 2 feet. He's finding teammates open, whether it's kickouts to the corner or drop-offs to the big man.
You just said one of the most important things that scouts look for. He's playing under control. So when he goes, I mean, he's lightning quick, but when he goes to the basket, he's not just everywhere, just out of control. Because if that's the case, kids would just start taking charges. No. He's playing under control. He's finding the open man. And now the defense is scrambling. Oh, it's game time now. Because there's shooters. There's guys down low that can work. We got an athletic wing that can create as well. And we haven't even talked about our athletic wing, the up and coming.
Very tough. And when we talk about guys at the showcase, he was probably the best kid there. And again, in a room full of JUCO sophomores, a 2023 kid was the best player in the gym. That's tough. That's tough. Jelani Reynolds is having himself a year, still not, but he's doing well with this group because he's able to learn from the leadership.
Exactly.
Of a Dorian, of a Will. They hold him accountable, and he's able to see how they play mistake-free basketball. And it forces Jelani to understand that I have to play like them. I have to play a clean game because they're playing a clean game. So it's really forced him to step up his game and learn a lot from those guys. But it starts from those guys. Dorian, Will, Perry, Sean. It starts from those guys.
Great. Starts with the vets. Plain and simple. Starts with the vets.
For sure.
So, but not only does it start with the vets, but the younger crew is taking notes. And like you said, it's forcing them to say, hey, I got to step my game up, or, I'm going to look out of order if I don't.
Yeah, I hope guys understand. And it's nothing fancy. It's just guys making an easy play, passing to the next open guy. Making their decisions, just passing to the next open guy. That's really it. It's not rocket science. These guys are really talented, but the key is that they bought into playing defense immediately, and they're very unselfish.
Definitely.
It's basketball, man. We ain't running nothing, crazy. Just making an easy play.
Definitely. You know what? Everybody, thank you again for being patient. As you all know, I'm still in Lexington, Kentucky. I am back in Atlanta on the weekends, so I know you see my face and you're like, how's he in Lexington and Atlanta? Yeah, because I'm driving 6 hours. It gets ugly sometimes. So as Dre posted about a week ago, when AAU was over on the weekends, we are hurting sometime on Mondays and Tuesdays. So I apologize, and work has had me very busy as well. But I want to thank you guys for hanging in there with us. We appreciate everybody following Love the Game, Hoops Hitting Gems podcast. And for some of you all that are dying to see the Georgia Man Up, as we say, some of the matchups that are coming soon. Because you guys watch this podcast or you watch the other podcasts and we like to talk a little bit. I know you guys are waiting for that. I'm waiting for it too. But we're going to leave it at that. We're not going to talk. We're going to let it get on to center court. And when the time comes, we look forward to it. And it's not just one team, because for me, I felt this past weekend playing the teams we played, we were up for those teams as well. And I'm just proud of those guys. People don't understand, seeing these guys hungry and they're trying to make a name for themselves. Man, we're trying to make a name for ourselves as an organization. And it's just fulfilling to see, those guys working just as hard as we are. People don't understand the hours we put in to try and make this happen. But I just want to thank everybody. I want to thank Coach McCain, my guy. I appreciate you. Coach Eggleston, I appreciate you. Coach Robinson on the women's side, I appreciate you as well. All the coaches that have been rocking with the podcast on both podcasts, we appreciate you all, because we felt this is a platform that has been overdue and needed, and it's starting to pay dividends for a lot of kids. Just starting to see these kids, as we're starting to do congratulations. And to be honest, Dre, just to give you a heads up, we may have a really big announcement, a commitment next Monday, bro.
I love it.
Really, really big one. Young man he was shown on the unsigned segment, and Dre, he may be signing big time, bro. And look, and he's going to announce on the show too.
I love it.
I do too. And on top of that, we go way back. Let's just put it like that. We go way back. So what are our thoughts on the Overtime Elite League that will pay 16 to 18-year-olds $100,000 to play in their league?
Great idea. Great idea. Good for them. And God bless every family that goes and takes the money to go play.
I look at it like this. I think it's doing something that is overdue. It's going to force the NCAA to pony up at some point. It's going to force them to pony up. That's the pros of this. Now, the cons of this, Dre, the kids that won't be ready for this.
I don't think it's a con.
It is a con because, okay.
Why is that a con? Why is that any different than a kid going to college and he's not ready?
Okay, so let's say you go and you get this $100,000 for, let's say, 2 or 3 years. Let's look at it like that, right? I don't know all the parameters. Like, are you just playing for a year and then you're trying to go into the league, or can you play for 2, 3, or 4 years? I don't know the parameters of this league yet. Can you do that, or is this just a one and done where you're trying to prep for the draft?
I'd imagine if you're younger, if you're 16, you could probably play until your 18th birthday. You got to be 1 year removed, I think, from high school anyway to go to the league. Okay.
So let's just go for the sake of a kid 15 and he gets this 100 G's, right? You know as well as I know everything that comes with that, right?
Yeah, but at 15, you got your parents there. You ain't getting that money direct.
Okay, great point. The kid's not ready. Are the parents really ready too, bro? Come on.
I don't understand why that matters, though. Nobody asks them, are they ready when they go onto a college campus? And you got to deal with Midnight Madness at Kentucky. Nobody asks a kid if they ready for that.
Sure. But he doesn't have $100,000 in his pocket either at 15.
Why don't he?
At 15.
And
no, don't do it. Don't do it.
I don't think, but that's what I'm saying. The kid has parents. They're not giving that money to.
But Dre, you're looking at it. He has responsible parents. Yes, if he has responsible parents.
Whether they're this is the thing. We only do this with black kids.
That's not true.
We do not. How many people are saying is the 12-year-old, 13-year-old golfer or the video game player who's a esports icon and makes this amount of money? We're not questioning that with them and saying that this is a bad idea. They're getting paid every day. Like, well, I don't understand why this is a problem, man. Do what you're supposed to do. Save your money. Go to college. Pay for it yourself, like every other American does. Like, I don't.
Okay, now this is interesting. He said that they're going to pay a player's college education if they don't make it to play professionally.
I don't. And see, I wouldn't even require them to do that. Because at the end of the day, if somebody gives you $100,000, we just talked about a JUCO program that you can pay $2,500 and go get your 2-year degree.
That's true. That is true.
You can't get through. People go to college every day who don't have $100,000. You know, if it doesn't work out, you know what you have to do. You have to apply for a student loan like everybody else and go to school.
But Dre, bring up Deshauna's comment. Exactly, bro.
I mean, but my thing is there are people who aren't ready for a whole lot of stuff.
I hear you, but bro,
I don't understand why because it's basketball players that's such a problem. Like, I don't.
It's not that it's basketball players, bro. I mean, okay, what you said earlier, yes. As long as they have parents, when you're talking about those golfer parents or those other parents. We're talking about parents. We haven't had LaMelo Balls, or I'm sorry, what's the dad's name? LeVar. You haven't had LeVar Balls, right?
I don't understand what was wrong with LeVar though.
Well, but you know what? And that I'm
he
gonna
was
look at
right.
it.
At the end of the day, he was right.
He was right, bro.
All his sons were as good as he advertised, and the youngest one that he said was the one is the one.
Well, the middle one's trash.
He's not trash. If you're an overseas player, you're trash.
He got cut.
He's good.
He got cut.
He got cut from the Pistons.
No, he got cut from overseas.
So, but guys who get cut from overseas is like that guy's not trash.
Right. Okay. That might be a little harsh, but right.
I'm telling you what they really didn't like about LeVar Ball. They did not like a big black dude being loud about his kids.
But I don't think it was just. I mean, a lot of people didn't like the fact that he was loud.
Out of 3 sons, he got 2 top 5 draft picks.
Sure.
He was right, and they didn't like it, but he was right. They may not like how he said it.
For the most part, yeah, he was right about. I mean, because I love Lonzo. I mean, I like Lonzo the best out of all 3 of them. He just needed to change the shot, and he has.
I just don't think that's neither here. I could go another 30, 45 minutes about LeVar. Any other dad who had 3 out of his 5 sons were top 5 draft picks in the NBA, he would be the greatest basketball dad ever. There's no LeVar. Think about this. We're talking about a dad who he didn't roll out a line of training or anything like that. Why is he not training kids? Why is he not teaching other dads how to help develop their kids? He obviously knew how to.
Yeah.
Like not including the rest of the kids that he mentored who also made it, at least at the college level.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. To me, and maybe it's just me, but you know how I am with this type of stuff. To me, it goes somewhere different when it's basketball players. I
get what you're saying. Now, you don't get any argument of what the points you're bringing up, but I look at it like this. And yes, he did a phenomenal job with his sons. There's no argument out of that. Just correct me if I'm wrong, man. I mean, yes, you're talking, yes, it's only basketball. Name me one other sport where a parent is this out of line.
Well, I don't understand what he did that was ever out of line.
Bruh, come on, man. I mean, the
Wow.
the whole shock statements, I'll do this to Jordan or this, that, man. Sit down with that, bro.
Man, he having fun, man. Come on. You don't think that guy really believes he beat Michael Jordan one-on-one? He's having fun, man. He having a good time, bro. Like, okay, how many times have we been in a barbershop and somebody said, man, that dude's a bum, and he talking about an NBA player. I'll bust him up right now. Nobody really believes that they're going to bust up an NBA dude. Like, but have we not made fun of TJ McConnell? Have we not made fun of some of these guys, man? Like, come on, man. Like, we've all done it, but nobody really believes that they're going to bust up an NBA player. Nobody really believes that a WNBA player, that you're actually going to win a basketball game against a WNBA player. You're going to get smoked. And I think in reality, we all know that, but it's still fun to talk trash. Like, come on, like, we laugh at the dude that really thinks that they could beat a WNBA player.
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah, we do laugh at him, but you know what? I'll take the personal emotion out of this, bro. I guess I just look at it, from an old school perspective. I'll be looking at him like, bro, come on.
That dude got his little 5 seconds in the sun, and he had a great time doing it. And at the end of the day, he just wanted to build pub for his kids. I mean, but he wasn't. My thing was, we never took the time to ask, is what he is saying incorrect
about his kids? It wasn't.
But he got drilled every step of the way. When he took those kids and he pushed LaMelo and they went overseas and they did that trip, like, he got killed for that.
But I don't think that was a bad idea, to be honest.
I didn't think it was either.
Yeah, I didn't think that was a bad. I mean, he obviously showed when he got there that he belonged. It took maybe a couple games for him to mesh in, but it was obvious he belonged there. You know what I'm saying? Now, the whole Spire thing, I was like, now hold on. The whole Spire thing, that was a Chitlin circuit move, almost like Harlem Globetrotter type deal, right?
I mean, but I look at it like this. They had legit players on that roster.
Oh, they did, but they didn't play ball, though.
The Watts kid was going to Michigan State.
Yeah, that's true. It's not that they were sorry, Dre. It's not at all. They had some talented players, but it was terrible basketball. Can we agree to that?
Yeah, now I don't put that on LeVar, though.
Who you putting it on?
I don't put my kid out there with some teams and be like, yo, what the hell is going on out here? Like, I don't put that on LeVar, man. That's the problem. I mean, yeah, I think, but no, I'm just gonna say this, and this is my thing, and I'll get off this whole thing. What's good,
up, man?
When it comes to, I feel like this. If you go out here, and you and I have done it, we work really hard to get to being IT consultants, right? There was no class to say, hey, here's what we're going to do for you if you ruin your life because your income suddenly increased, right?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Here's how to handle these different situations that you're now going to find yourself in because your income has increased. There was no class for that, right? That's just living life.
That's very true.
So, hey, listen, will it work out for all these kids? Absolutely not. The law of averages says that it won't, right? But go make your money. You have a talent. If you didn't have a talent that they could exploit, Because at the end of the day, if you were worth $100,000, they would never pay you $100,000. They're paying you $100,000 because you're worth more than $100,000 to them.
Yeah,
right?
That's true.
Go get exploited like the rest of the working class. Right? That's what you want to do. Go get exploited like the rest of the working class. Get your money, and then it's on you and your family to be smart with it, just like everybody else out here.
Yeah.
So I don't necessarily feel bad about it, but just know that like no job is gonna pay you exactly what you're worth. They're gonna pay you because the return on that investment is gonna be bigger than what they shelled out. So as long as you understand that, hey man, go move and figure it out, man. And worst case scenario, man, that little 100,000, it don't go as far as people think. That ain't a whole lot of money, man. So like,
Dr. Love, that's a good point. That's a good point.
And see, this is, and I used to have a problem with Julian Newman's dad too, until I looked at, they have a clothing line, they have a TV show. Like, he built his kids playing basketball into a business, and neither one of them were.
Now, hold on. Now, he's not good.
It's college basketball player.
Bro.
Hey, he got an offer. You are what recruits you. He got an offer that you know.
And I had to get at that coach about that offer too.
I'm not doing that. Congratulations to him and his family, but they got a bat. They figured out how to make it work for them. And I was tired of overtime promoting it and trying to exploit them. But hey, they had that agreement with them. They got the Facebook show out of it. They got their bag. You know, I don't even think the daughter is still playing basketball. I think she's going on into like modeling and stuff like that. I don't know, but
I mean, I'm not mad for taking advantage of an opportunity. No, because once it's there, like you said, somebody's building a brand and you weren't getting exploited because overtime was just playing you ridiculous. I mean, Trey, listen, it's totally different. Like, at least with LeVar's kids, like Lonzo and LaMelo were good. They were good. Anybody that tries to take that away from them, that's a problem right there. Julian Newman, guy.
But see, this is the age that we live in, though, D. Like Drake said, the fame comes before the talent nowadays.
Yeah.
Like, there are a lot of famous people who have money who have no talent. Like, before the Kardashians hustled this makeup line, what was the talent?
We know what the talent was, bro.
Right. So I don't, you know, I want to get away from this thing that we have to be so excellent to get money or be famous. Like, I don't think it's going to work out for a lot of these kids, but I think with a lot of these kids, if they go to college, it's not going to work out. We see what's in the transfer portal. We know that all those transfer kids are not kids deciding that it's best for them to go into the transfer portal. A lot of those kids are kids that were asked to leave those universities. So
hold on, Dre. I need it. Yes, he was the best sixth grader. Yes.
I think there's
by the time he got to ninth grade,
it's a little from there though.
He was cheeks.
He was not cheeks, dude.
Stop it, bro. Stop it. Bruh. Okay. All right.
I'm not saying it's great, man. I'm just saying I've seen worse.
Okay. Yes, we've seen worse. Sure. But the hype on that name by the time he got to high school was just ridiculous.
For sure. For sure.
And yes, that is true too, because a lot of those kids, unfortunately, they flame out. Only reason he didn't flame out because his dad did an excellent job of building a brand, and the hype machine was so out of hand that so many people wanted to see him. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
His game did not match the hype. I would agree with that. But
no, it's that statement right there.
I don't think he did that. But That part. Wow, they on that boy head. But I'm okay with that, man. I feel like, man, at the end of the day, there's no fair wage for athletes. You only get what you have the power or the leverage to negotiate. So I am all for, unless our country changes how the systems work, I am all for people leveraging whatever they can, whenever they can, to get ahead. Unless something is going to change about the system and people are going to start being paid fairly.
I'm going to say yes and no. Yes, you're partially right, but at the same time, you're selling a false bill of goods, not only to yourself, but to every other person that's watching, bro. Okay, how many Julian Newmans are going to be out there, Dre?
Doesn't matter.
Yes, it does.
Hey, this is the thing. We just said it. If Overtime wasn't getting more than what they were paying him, Julian Newman wouldn't exist.
But
Facebook
can't. But let's look at it like this: can there be 100 Julian Newmans?
If the market says it can, it can.
Dre, come on, man.
Hey, if the
Dre, come on, bro.
What
can there be 100? Okay, let's take it even down to this simplicity. Let's look at it like this. Can there be a Julian Newman for every grade right now?
I don't think the market can sustain that.
Thank you.
But I don't understand.
He stinks.
I don't understand why that. I don't think that's the point though. Like, are there 100 reality TV stars with no talent that are getting a bag? Are there 100 of those?
Hold on. Put that comment back up, bro. First off, hell yeah, I'm taking the bag. But second of all, you would never see me out there just bodacious.
And
I would be so low key, bro.
I'm going to get that money.
I'm gonna get the money, but you would never see me out there like that. If they give me the bag, yeah, I'm taking the bag. Are you kidding me? Yes.
Man, I'm selling that show like Floyd Mayweather selling a fight. Like, this is so much
now,
bro. I understand how we feel as basketball purists where everything has to be super legit. That's not the world that we live in. Pull up Instagram. Every picture is fake. It's all fake. You have influencers who are making money and they take that and go to a fake staged airplane hangar to make it look like they're taking private flights.
He just brought up a good point, Dre. Pull up that right there. So basically, for every Julian Newman, how many kids are like this guy right here that don't make it? Is my point.
But Damon Harge was before the marketing really started for those kids.
But okay.
I'll Facebook show.
I'll give you that. But the point is, how many kids? Yeah, there are 100 no talented personalities. So for everyone, you're going to get like thousands that don't make it. So now you got kids that are complete jokes out here and are out here like, what? Oh, no.
But see, and that's the thing. And Harge could hoop. He could hoop. He just wasn't all world like what people want him to be. And that's so. I guess that's my thing. We're defining what is success and what is failure differently. Forget the basketball is about entertainment now.
Sure, I agree with that.
Entertaining and you can get a bag. Who cares if you make it to the NBA or not? Get your money, man.
I'm not really worried about you. You know what? You might just say something where I might have to back up. From a purist standpoint, if you can hoop, you can hoop. We agree on that, right? Sure. If you can hoop, you can hoop. But when it's you out here getting destroyed and you still are out here I as a purist, I'm looking at this like this is nonsense. But on the flip side, like you've taken the entertainment part, like your mind is so you're thinking, I'm so nice. And everybody's like, yo, you can't hoop. But unfortunately, so many people keep tuning in to be like, yo, you can't hoop. Or to post to be like, yo, you can't hoop. People are exploiting that. Yes.
And see, that's the thing though, D. Basketball is gonna tell all of us at some point that we can't hoop. That time is coming for all of us, no matter what. Some of us sooner than later, but basketball gonna tell you can't hoop no more.
Yes. But
Man,
if you couldn't hoop from the jump, and you've taken this and it's mind blowing, bro. It's
think about how many guys that we've seen that are like us, basketball junkies, right? Who go to college and play, who the old D League before they were making all of this money, going to grind it out. Remember, we were around when the Columbus River Dragons were around, and they were making $25,000 for the year to go play in the D League.
Yeah, that's true.
You don't think that those guys would get on TV and tell some jokes and would rather that than what happened to those guys? Those guys could hoop for real and was still not able to afford daycare, bro.
That's true.
Man, 25,000. You making 25,000? I think the top guys were making 35,000 back then when the Columbus River Dragons were there.
Yeah.
You can't afford that $500 a week daycare, $300 a week daycare. You can't even for your baby.
That's
but
true.
you got Jelly Fam and all of these guys where as basketball purists, it looks
ridiculous.
Get to us, right? It looks that way to us, but hey, man, I'm for it. Look, man, get it. There are very few people who get a chance to make money off playing basketball or doing anything around basketball. If you have an opportunity to make some money and it comes from your talent of playing basketball, because if you didn't have any talent, there would be nothing for overtime to exploit. There would be nothing for them to give you. Man, I say get it. Whether they pay for the college education or not, go get your bag.
He said daycare is expensive. Yeah, yeah. That daycare should stop a lot of brothers from having babies for real.
Yeah. It's a lot of guys overseas that ain't getting paid like that. If you're not you're not really making it like that.
People don't. But see, now let's go from a pure standpoint. People don't understand that you go overseas and make $1,500 a month. People don't talk about that. But I think Coach Emerson brought up a good
it was all Mark's fault. Mark Edwards did start this.
Mark, I got love for you. I'm not going to fall down that. I liked AND1. I still rock AND1 shorts when I go to sleep at night.
I'm not rocking it. I don't know if Mark Edwards gets royalties. So if Marcus gets royalties, I will rock it.
But I mean, Dre, let's be honest, bro. Like, even back to the purist standpoint. Now, on one hand, you're talking about let's get paid, but let's go back to the AAU side where we go nuts when these same kids come and do the same thing in these games, and we cursing on the bench.
Two different platforms, though, D.
No.
Two different. AAU is not for entertainment. You're trying to get a college scholarship. That's not for entertainment.
But, bro, they're doing the same thing they see, right?
They're trying to, not with me.
Right.
You're trying to.
Bro, you already know I will snatch somebody off the bench by the arm. Go get it.
But this is the thing, though. That platform, there are some platforms that are for entertainment, and that there are some platforms that aren't. AAU, to me, AAU is not for entertainment because you're trying to get a college scholarship. College basketball is not entertaining.
I'm sorry. I'm looking at what you just posted. Does he have a chance? He's not bad. That kid can play, Dre. He's not bad.
My only issue with him has nothing to do with his game. I just wish that from a marketing standpoint, he was able to develop his brand. Man, forget college basketball. That kid should have taken his brand and ran with his brand.
That's a good point, what he's saying right there. Because now, Dre, and just getting off subject real quick, you know, one of the things that burn me to death about AAU right now, and overtime and all of them, and
Parents on the sideline screaming, "One more!"
Well, not even that. No, whenever they get a bucket or a dunk, they go running in the camera and stare in the camera, or they're staring in the kid's face and or staring them down. But that burns me to no end. See, that takes me back to the 80s and 90s goon time. Go get it. But I know we can't do that now.
I don't have a problem with it. Because again, I feel like we said and did a lot worse on the basketball court. We definitely said a lot worse than any of these kids say on the basketball court.
I didn't.
But then, bro, all right. But then we question their toughness. We question their toughness, but it's like we want them to be robots. Like where they can't show any passion. And it's some basketball is about expression. I'm okay with it. I'm okay with the hair. I'm okay with them rolling up their shorts. Like I'm cool.
Bro, no, the shorts. Oh, the shorts, bro.
Hey, man, I'm cool with it. If that's what you want to do, I wouldn't do it. I don't necessarily like it, but I'm cool with them expressing themselves the way that they choose to express themselves. Because how many spaces do these kids have just to be themselves? You can't go to school. They're monitoring how you cut your hair, everything you wear. You can't wear this shoe. You can't do this. Can't do that when you're in school. You can't do it anywhere. But on the basketball court, we gotta let these kids have some kind of personality.
But Dre, there has to be some fine line. That's the problem. There's no fine line.
We keep trying to make these kids us, and they're not us.
We don't have that's not true. There has to be some boundaries. Tell me where the boundary is.
With what?
Just in general, like with the game. Like, bro, think about what we're seeing now. Bro, we're seeing, and I know this is a bad example, but bro, we're seeing parents out here shooting coaches over playing time.
Well, and see, I think now you're hitting on what the real problem is. I don't think the problems with basketball have anything to do with the kids. To me, the adults are what's wrong with basketball right now.
I agree and disagree. Yes, the parents are a huge part of the problem.
All the adults, coaches, directors, tournament directors, all of this nonsense is a lot of it starts to me from the parents or from the adults. I shouldn't say just the parents.
I agree with that. I definitely agree with that. And I look at this, parents that are part of the problem, you have coaches that are part of the problem. And then, again, we'll go back to the purist standpoint. For me and you, it's about playing the right way. So we holler and scream about playing the right way. Yeah, you may have a team that is God-given talented, but when they play like, no disrespect, Mark, like &1 in the AAU tournaments, that's only going to get you so far. And what we always preach, like if they play like that, we're going to get them in the fourth quarter. We're going to get them because you cannot play that way for 4 quarters and win a game. unless you were just so supremely talented.
Well, but this is the thing, man. And again, I put it back on the adults. Let's just be real. What's wrong with AAU, right?
There's
There
a
are
lot wrong with AAU.
people who are much better recruiters than they are coaches. Come on, let's be real, man. Like, guys ain't really running shit. These teams ain't really running nothing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna stockpile more talent than you. I'm gonna beat you because when I come off the bench with my 6th, 7th, 8th guy, they're just as good as the guys you have starting. And I'm gonna overwhelm you, and that's how we're gonna win. Like, to me, it's the adults, man. Like, guys ain't, you know what I mean? Like, all of these highlight tapes and all this stuff. Who do we think is really funding all this stuff?
But I'm gonna say this though. That's why I never really what we preach, I never really worry about it, because all of that you're talking about right now, those guys fold up like a bad suit when adversity hits in the fourth quarter and the game's close.
But see, that's the thing. That's what they're banking on. I'm going to have so much talent that's not going to be close. In most games, it's not going to be close. I'm going to stockpile talent. I have more talent than you. We're going to win. And there are a lot of people a lot of adults in AAU basketball that honestly, they care more about winning games and building
instead of player development,
instead of the kids, period. The kids as a person. Like, challenge coaches all the time. Do you know who your kids are dating? If they're dating?
Yeah.
What they're doing after they leave the gym? How many text messages do you send? How many phone calls do you make? And it's not an easy job. It's a tough job. Trust me. I'm telling you, I know. I have phone calls and text messages from kids on my phone right now that I still have to return. It is not easy trying to keep up with all of these kids. But why are we here? To stand up
for the kids
and coach on weekends? But to me, what's going wrong is a lot that has to do more with us than it has to do with them.
Yeah. Yes, but, and when I say but, here's where the frustration starts. The frustration starts when you try and do it right, and then some of these parents are so delusional.
Yeah. So I'm going to go to another adult that's going to do what I want.
Yeah, and they're going to give me what I want. As long as I give them the money, they're going to give me what I want.
Yeah. Sometimes without it. As long as my son can help them win games, they're just going to give it to me.
You know me when it comes to that.
It's adults though, man.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah.
That's true too.
Gang culture has become a cool thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, again, I look at the adults. It's the adults making it cool.
Yeah.
All my favorite rappers throwing gang signs. I mean, come on. Are they not? All my favorite rappers still throwing gang signs, man. They old as dirt. You know, we have to
not all of them. Not all.
Mentor these kids, man. We have to mentor these kids.
Oh, no, agreed 500% on that.
Yeah. Sometimes you got to be dad. Sometimes you got to be uncle. Sometimes you got to be big bro. But, like, we got to mentor kids, man.
Agreed. Definitely agreed. And yes, it is the day we live in, but at some point, that's no longer acceptable by just saying it's the day we live in. At some point, we have to do something about this. At some point.
Yeah.
Because as you know, and I know, every weekend when we go to AAU events, some of this stuff is getting so out of hand. We're going to be to the point where we're going to need metal detectors at every event.
Hey, man, I've seen it so many times of guys, you know, like we were at our first event, and I have a back and forth with Coach Hightower, and I'm telling him, man, don't get into it with that dude. Call off the dogs, man. Call off the dogs. And I'm saying that because the opposing coach is hyping his kids up. No easy baskets.
Yeah.
Put them on the ground. Come on, man. That's an adult.
Yeah.
Right?
That's true.
Somebody gets a breakaway, you undercut our guy, an unnecessary hard foul, then that turns into a situation that doesn't need to happen. But that's an adult leading and encouraging a kid to do that.
Yeah.
You know, but to me, that's how a lot of stuff starts. I mean, we've already heard it this year of a opposing coach after the game, his team wins, and per his side of the story is that he gets jumped by multiple members of the team.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So, you know, and we see the post that comes out after that, and you know, it didn't sound that way, right? But two sides to that story. Who knows what happened? I wasn't there, right? But a lot of times again, I don't even know how that situation was addressed. We're just talking about situations that get out of hand sometimes. And
Dre, what did Dr. Love mean when I didn't understand why he put each one teach one?
That's what we have to do.
Oh, I'm sorry. You know, I'm thinking of the team. I'm
No.
thinking of the team. I'm about to say, is he talking about each one teach one? I mean, they run a great program.
That's what we have to do, man. I mean, look, okay. We have 50 kids in our organization.
Yeah.
Right? I can't touch all of them. You can't touch all of them. Right? But we got to try to touch as many of them as we can.
Yeah.
I can't talk to all my kids every day. Right? Our organization has grown where it's impossible. I can't talk to every parent every day anymore. I used to be able to. Right?
Well, what happened to the days when we had the 8th grade team and that was it, Brian? We had 10, 11 kids.
I can't do that anymore. Right? I can't talk to all my parents every day. I can't talk to all my kids every day. I have too many. Right?
Yeah.
But I have identified some that I know who need me. And I'm trying to be there more for those guys that I know for a fact need me. And we just do the best that we can.
Yeah.
You know?
Right. You're right.
Can't do it. 50 families, man. It's a lot of kids. And they all need us.
Yeah.
I agree.
That's true. Folks, this is what he dragged me into. Before he dragged me into this, I was just living the life.
Well,
but he say it again.
I said we can retire someday.
It ain't gonna be no time soon.
Yeah, that's all I'm trying to do, man. I'm just trying to save one. If I can keep one from going down the wrong path, you know, if I can have that type of relationship with one.
But see, I think that's where I fail. And the reason why I fail, and you've said it plenty of times, I can't be satisfied with just saving one. And that's where I fail. And maybe that's kind of crazy to say that, but I feel like you got to try and save them all. And I get what you're saying. You can't save them all, but it just doesn't register with me to be satisfied with one, is what I'm saying. And I'm with you on your next comment where, yeah, I'm not going to give up. But sometimes, yeah, when you can't save them all and just saving one, it's just, that's still a fail if you really think about it, right? You saved one, but two or three others went under. Is that something to celebrate?
Yeah.
No, it's not.
I think it is. You can't. And I'm gonna tell you from 50 families in our program.
I get that, bro. But you got to look at it like this. We signed up for that.
We, to a degree, but I can't be dad to every kid. I got a kid.
Sure. Yeah.
Because here's
both got kids.
if you save them all and you don't save your own,
That's true.
you celebrate that.
That's true.
You don't celebrate that either. So man, we jump in, we get our hands dirty. We're part of the community, and we do the best that we can for every kid that's in our program.
Yeah.
You know, that's all we can do. I try to touch them. I try to, and Dr. Love, there may be other coaches in here that coach AAU. I try to make sure I lead the team in touches. I try to make sure I lead the team in high fives and pats on the back.
No, you're second, because I lead them in fist bumps.
In hugs and pulling guys to the side. Like I try to make sure that I model that. Like every game that I coach, I'm the first one off the bench trying to, because you just never know what is going to even cause a kid to eventually open up to you. So you try to have as many of those conversations around the gym, in the gym as you can. And then the guys who you build with outside of the gym, you just try to touch as much as you possibly can, man. You try to send a text and check on the kid. But as these organizations grow, it's tough to do. It takes a whole village of people to do this thing.
Yeah, it does. It does. And just to see one or two come out of this, where we know where they were headed, and see them turn it around.
Yeah,
that's the rewarding thing. Of all of this, to me.
And all those conversations aren't good ones either. I just want to understand that. Like this year, I've had to have some really tough conversations with kids. Like, hey man, if this doesn't change, right? Like, you're not going to continue to be here. With kids that I really care about.
But the scariest part of all that, Dre, is making that, putting that out there like that, and knowing if it's snatched from them, we know what's going to happen, right? And we're basically saying if you don't change, you're not going to have this. But in the back of our mind, we know if it is changed, if it's taken from them, it gets worse really fast, right?
For some of them,
yeah. And again, yes, not for all. That would be a bad assessment to say for all, but for some. But at some point, like we say, at some point you have to stand your ground. Like, bruh, it's not going to happen this way.
It's a very real thing to understand that without a positive influence, that a kid could possibly give up on himself, and you never want that.
That's true.
You never want that.
But that's that boundary we talk about, right?
It's tough to set because it's easy. I'm gonna tell y'all something, man. When it comes to coaching AAU, the stuff that happens on the floor is the easy shit. When it comes down to coaching a game, that is the easiest part of this whole thing, is actually coaching those 60 minutes that were on the floor. That's the easy part, man. If all I had to worry about, and it's crazy, dealing with parents and their whole thing is surrounded by the game. They show up for the game and have all this energy and emotion built up about what happens at the game. The game is the least emotional part of all this for me, because that's the easy shit. That's the least amount of work that I have to do to make all of this happen, is to actually coach the basketball game.
Minus the hoarse voices after close games.
I mean, that's a part of it, but to me, still, that's the easy part.
I mean, yeah, it's the stuff as we say, Monday through Friday.
It's having like we got boys, man. It's having conversations about using protection. These kids are having sex. Like when these kids, that's the thing. When kids open up and talk to you, you can't control what comes out.
Mm-hmm. And you might not be ready for what comes out.
You may definitely not be ready for the conversation that comes out or the questions that they specifically ask you. A lot of times you find yourself wondering, why is this kid talking to me about this when they have mom and dad? But they came to you for a reason.
Okay, I'm gonna partially answer that. They know they can talk to us, but they also know at some point there's some boundaries that are set. You get what I'm saying? Like for both of us, like they can talk. Of course they can talk. And they know, yeah, we'll joke with them sometimes, but they also know that there's going to be times we were dead serious, like, okay, chill out. You get what I'm saying?
And
so I think when that boundary is set like that, like there's a comfort, like they're like, oh, he's cool, but he don't play. You get what I'm saying? So he can talk to us, but they can also talk to us about some stuff, like you said, that they might not generally talk to other people about. And yeah, some of that stuff you get, and you be like, whoa, hold on. Right?
For sure. And I think this is a great question. So do you keep accepting a great player's money, but he has a bad attitude?
I'll answer that. Let me answer that. Let me go first.
Go ahead.
I look at this like, and I think this is the thing that we pride ourselves on. We will take you, but when you become a cancer to the team, you got to go. Because you don't respect not just us, you don't respect your teammates, you don't respect your parents as well. But at the end of the day, it is on the parents to check that. But when you get into our environment and then these boundaries are set and you can't follow them, sure, we can talk to you like, hey, man, you can't do that. But when it becomes troublesome where we're doing it over and over,
and I'm going to echo Dave's answer, but for a different reason. And I'm going to tell parents exactly what AAU is to me. AAU to me is my very expensive hobby.
Oh.
So your money doesn't move me at all.
Well, hold on. Stop for a second. Let's get this straight. We don't make a dime.
Well, see, Dave, and I'm going there.
Okay. I just wanted that to be said.
That's why I call it my expensive hobby. Taking your money does nothing for me because every dime that a parent puts into this program goes back to their child. So taking your money doesn't move the needle for me. Like my coaches don't get paid a salary. We're all volunteers, right? Like I pay money, not my child plays in the Georgia Man Up program and I pay a full parent fee just like everybody else. I don't get a discount. My kid's not playing for free. I pay my fees just like every other parent in the program. So your money doesn't move me. So I don't have to take you because you're paying, because so does everybody else. Right? Now, I will take a Joe Hampton type player, referencing the Netflix documentary on JUCOs. I'm taking troubled players because I understand them.
But you know what? Here's the thing, Dre. And for me, I swear I always I just shout my grandmother, rest in peace. Those troubled kids, bro, when you put them in an environment of love and family, it's amazing to see how they change.
Over time.
Yes, it's amazing to see how they change.
It doesn't happen all the time, but over time you can see it with when you can discipline a player, yell at them, whatever, they mad at you, whatever, this, that, and the third, but you still show up for them
And go hard for them. And when
it's,
they see that, that's where everything starts to change.
and I'll credit Coach Wesley, and I'm glad to have him back. One of the founders for Man Up was away from the organization, having a baby, got a young child, so he, had to handle business, right? But back with us, I learned it from him that if you love them first, if that player knows that you love them, then you can coach him as hard as you want. You can say anything to him that you need to say.
Yeah.
I've been able to say certain things because I don't know that a player can question how much I care about them. When you show up and like we have a player, Corbin, that runs track, that's my guy. So whether Corbin is at practice or at the tournament or not, and I shoot him a text, hey man, how many medals we win? Like, I'm tracking this kid because I care about the kid. And I could name a many of players that are like that, but it's your money doesn't move me because my child plays in this organization. I pay my parent fees just like you. And then I paid on top of that to make sure that your child is having a good time.
You know what?
So let's keep it real. And I'm not rich at all. I'm probably one of the broker parents in the organization. But it's important to me. It's not just, again, which is why, if you ever see me watching a game and my son is playing, you'll rarely ever hear me say anything. Because that's the time, the few seconds of peace that I get. So you're not going to hear me say much of anything. I'm just going to get a chance because it's the first time ever that I get a chance to just watch a basketball game. So I'm just going to watch a basketball game. But I've also been around long enough to know that I don't have to, man, AAU is a grind. It is a long season. I'm not getting amped in April. I'm not getting amped in April, man. July is a long way from here. It's gonna take a lot more than that.
But see, that's where me and him are different. So just as hard as I go for our team, I'm the same for my son as well. Like he's watching the game, he's laid back. I'm still out there almost in coach mode. Like, I could be watching the game, and it's not that I'm belittling him, no, but it's just that intensity. I tell my son this. I'm like, listen, I'm one of the most competitive dudes you're gonna meet. So even being on the sideline, there's times where I'm just clapping, let's go. It's not like I'm hollering at him to, be like, what the hell are you doing? No, I'm amped. It's almost like I've taken myself back and I want to will them to win. So you'll see him over there quiet. Me? No. I'm hands up. Let's get it. We don't back down from nobody.
Yeah, you might not even know I'm in the gym watching. If I'm just get to watch the game, but I don't get to watch many. So because I have to be on the bench. But it's
Dr. Love, please bring that one up, bro. Bring that last one up, bro. Listen here. Until you have taken kids all over Atlanta and dropped them off from DeKalb to Cobb County to Norcross, and you drop that last kid off and you are delirious, you haven't lived AAU life. You haven't lived AAU life where you put a tank of gas in and you're just playing in Atlanta on a Friday and Sunday you on E.
For sure. Those Midday between game runs to Waffle House.
Publix chicken.
Those are just, but I don't mind it because it helps me get to know the kids that I'm around, and it helps them get to know me. So,
But you miss one other thing, and I only speak for us. Those kids talk about that in the off season. You know what I'm saying? They talk about the times, or we go do this, or we go do that, or we go do this, and we go do that. So obviously something's being done right. And it's not to pop a collar, but if it's that kids can't wait to when school's out because AAU season's about to start and they want to get back to man up, we've done something right. And I'm 100% with that.
And I just want to encourage parents too, man, to understand part of this too, is that, and I don't want people to take this for granted because we grew up, and I'm 41, I'll be 42 this year. We grew up having the opportunity to play on real basketball teams. And these kids, many of them do not. They're isolated all the time. They show up to the game, they play with their teammates for an hour, and then they leave. And they show up for the next game, and they play with their teammates for an hour, and then they go home. That was not our experience. So we got a chance to be on real teams where you were with your teammates hanging out all the time.
Yeah, that's true.
And these kids a lot of them don't have that opportunity. So I want to encourage parents to understand too that if all you get out of playing basketball is just what happens on the floor. Shout out to class of 98. For sure. For sure. I don't know how you know that, but class of 98, man. Shout out to the Creek.
Pleasure Ridge.
So don't discredit that though. Don't discredit kids just being able to be. It's an experience that they will likely remember for the rest of their life. The time that they were on a real basketball team and their teammates became some of their best friends in life. If all you get is how many points you scored and what your accolades were, if that's all you get from basketball, man, you missed out. You missed out. Man, me and Dave been cool for 22 years.
Yep.
The game is what brought our friendship together. Same thing with me and Coach West. 20-year friendship because of basketball. If all you get is whatever accolades you get from basketball and you don't get those type of relationships or friendships from the game, man, you miss the best thing about playing this game.
True.
And as a parent, you have to value that and you have to understand that every kid ain't going to college to play. As a matter of fact, if your son is under 6 foot, take the average and then cut that in by a third. Right? Because it's so hard to do. But there's so much more that you can get from the game. If you allow your kid just to love, it's okay for your kid just to love basketball and not get a mixtape or the big name scholarship or this or that. It's okay. That's perfectly fine because there's great stuff that they can get from the game aside from a scholarship to Duke or North Carolina. And as a parent, like we got to be on board with that, and we have to promote that, and we have to make sure the kids value that, because there's like, if these guys, I'm gonna be disappointed if these guys aren't in each other's weddings and that type of thing. Like, I'm gonna be disappointed. To me, we didn't do our job.
But the other thing, Dre, is you can love this game and go about it in other avenues.
For
That's
sure.
and that's what I want. I don't want any of these kids to think if I didn't go D1, D2, or I flamed out in college or I flamed out in high school, you could be one of the coldest commentators. You could be one of the coldest video editors.
What about the next director of Georgia Man Up?
True that. Yeah,
What about
man.
the next head coach of Georgia Man Up 17U? What about head of player development for Georgia Man Up? I hope that comes from a kid in our program.
Yeah.
Don't root for Kentucky, man. Root for Louisville.
I'm right here on campus right now.
Yeah, boo. I didn't mean to do this, man. We drew this thing out. I didn't mean to.
Yeah, this came out of nowhere. Look, I was getting ready to wrap it up, and this conversation started. Hey,
We just love our kids, man. We love our program, man.
we get laughed at sometimes because if I have to come in, like, I don't coach right now. I'm in charge of trying to get these kids into school. But yeah, there's times where I have to come in and do some emergency coaching if someone can't make it. But Dre will tell you, the minute I go into coaching mode, I'm up to 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning watching tape.
Locked in.
Yeah.
Locked in. This is what we love, man. These kids are, these kids are the future of our country. They're our most precious resource. These are the future leaders of our community. And if the only thing I can do is to help them enjoy the game and have a good time and keep them safe. Let's be real, man. A lot of these kids, if they weren't at Lake Point all day,
they'd be into something.
They might be into something, and I just feel like sometimes we get caught up in all the smoke and the mirrors and the rankings and the videos and the this and the that, and we forget about that.
But do we actually forget about, let's go back 2 years ago where we could keep 8, 9, 10 kids and know they were straight. Even though we was broke trying to feed them all. Oh, Jesus.
So
I still get nightmares about that. Man. It was, but you know what? It was fun though. That's one thing. I mean, yeah, when we looked at it at the end of the week or the next week, it was like, bruh, look, remember when we got towards the end of the season, it was like, bro, we got to cut back.
We had to budget. We had to find some.
Whew.
But man, these kids, they deserve that experience.
Yeah.
If nothing else, I wish every kid got a chance to be on a team, a real team, and to have a place where they felt accepted. Like, again, I feel like there's little things like that we miss. A place where they're a part of something that's bigger than them, and they're accepted exactly how they are. They don't have to be something else. That they feel like they are a part of something that means something. To me, those things are great. We're talking about a group of kids who experience depression at a higher rate than ever, who are committing suicide at a higher rate than ever. Giving them a place where they belong is a big deal. It's a big deal, man. It's a big deal. So like I said, I just want to encourage parents. I hope they understand that. I hope they're on board with it, and I hope they can kind of encourage their kids to embrace it. Invite those teammates over, man. Have pizza night.
Let's go with something simple. Have your little team group chat. We know all our little knuckleheads is in the group chat. They probably up right now when they not supposed to be anyway, talking because they excited for this week.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, just little small stuff like that. When Friday, and I can say this without any doubt in my mind, Thursday, Friday come, all of our kids are talking like, I'm ready.
When the
I
schedule,
mean, yeah, they're ready for the game, but they're more ready to be around each other.
man, when the schedule comes out, they're definitely talking.
Oh yeah, yeah. Schedule comes out Wednesday. Look, they already texting each other. Oh, we play at this time, or we got a Friday game.
Yeah, it's man. Don't I'm telling you, man. Don't let your kid come out of basketball making it all about them. Man, don't miss it. I'm telling you, man. You will not regret it. Don't do that. That level of get yours and man, it leads them to a lonely place, man.
Yep.
Don't let that happen. If you can help it, don't let that happen, man. Let teach these kids the value of team, of being together, of enjoying being on a team, man, and working together with other people. I think it helps with life, period.
Do that. Very true. Very true. Well, I can say this. This has been the longest Hoops Hitting Gyms podcast that we've ever had.
I run my mouth, man. This is way more fun.
Oh, yeah. I mean, no question. No question. But, sometimes it's not just, I mean, yeah, for me, Dre, the biggest thing about this podcast was for education, but sometimes you need this as well, just to let off where we're coming from so people can understand what's really going on and where we're coming from. I mean, yeah, the people that are inside the AAU world that know us, yeah, they be, oh, yeah, you guys are great, this, that, and the other. And it's not about accolades or somebody patting us on the back. It's about we want them to understand how passionate we are about this.
Yeah. Next time I should have a haircut though. I don't want to do too many of these without a haircut.
Bruh, yeah, it's time for this one too, bruh. But people out there, this is what AAU does to you. This used to be all black on each side. Used to be.
Hey, man, appreciate it.
Yeah, man, we appreciate you, man. Yes, sir. Man up for life, bro. Definitely. But yeah, y'all look on the sides. I start seeing snow. My son will tell you. Dre will tell you. They used to laugh at me. When my son used to make a mistake, I used to be ready to kill him. And not kill him physically, but from a standpoint of, as you all know, as parents, when you tell them to do something 2, 3, 4, 5 times, and they make the same mistake until they finally get it, for me, that 4th or 5th time used to have me jumping off the bench.
And see that again, that's why I calm down a lot. And it's because as a parent, if you tell your kid to clean their room or do laundry or wash dishes or whatever you tell them, if they don't do it immediately and perfectly at home when you tell them to do it, then what makes you think they listen to me in the huddle?
Listen. But as we say, no. What do we say? There's consequences to every reaction. And now I didn't try to stall you out when I gave you, okay, watch back door. Watch back door. Watch back door. You know, by the 4th time, you used to be like, D, let him play. No, go get him. Now, go get him.
Yeah. Hey, man. I watched 3 full games of game film and saw 1 block out.
Yeah.
1 block out. 3 full games.
No doubt.
But hey, man, you don't know no better. Hey, man, y'all need to run some block out drills and practice. You need to tell them to block out like I'm not. Hey, man, if he ain't did he clean his room? That's why I'm gonna start asking. Did he clean his room?
No. Here's what I say. I'm just brutally honest. We are in 16U now. When you don't block out, Y'all talk about overtime, you're going to be on overtime in a minute. That's what's going to happen. That's going to be you on those steel frames getting dunked on if you don't block out. So all this can just keep on, but I decided to keep what black that is left. Yeah, go ahead and get dunked on.
I mean, I'm doing good. I got some grays up in the beard, but you know,
bro, look at this. This is pepper now.
Yeah.
It's pepper, bro. It's over. I don't even fight it no more. It's pepper. And I tell DJ all the time, this is your fault.
It's not.
Bro.
All right, man. Hey, if we don't go.
Is that my dog?
Yeah, she's over here going crazy.
Knuckles. What's going on, girl? Come here, Knuckles. Come here, girl.
I think you got her trying to get on the podcast. Like, she's trying.
Knuckles, come here, girl.
Okay. Yeah, I got to take her outside or else she's going
to. See, like, I'm going to holler at you later. I got to piss.
Right.
Hey, but we appreciate you all. I mean, this has been like, we're not even in podcast mode right now. We're like in the living room talking right now.
For sure.
But we appreciate you all. Actually, next week's show will be some Pride. If I have to get ready for this announcement show, and actually this announcement will be kind of special to me because she's like a little sister to me. So, and it'll be a big time one if that's the case, Trey. But you'll get all the details. But outside of that, we will have a full unsigned segment next week. We actually have some good coaches. I kind of want to stay on the JUCO mode because that was the first JUCO D2 we did, Dre. I want to do a JUCO D3 and a JUCO independent because we have to educate on the different levels and what's expected when you play JUCO D3 and JUCO independent, or how much it's going to cost. Like we say, we want to keep those no stone unturned options out there. And there's nothing wrong with playing JUCO D2, D3, and independent. You know what I mean?
For sure.
And as this transfer portal gets crazier, you better start looking, or you won't be playing.
I agree.
We're going to go ahead and kill this at 3 hours and 12 minutes. The Marathon Hoops Hidden Gems podcast is now coming to an end. We want to thank you guys for checking out the show. Again, much love to all you all, and thank you all for being patient. I'm up here in Kentucky in Dre's home state, just working like roots. It's out of hand. It's completely out of hand. But I will be back in Atlanta this weekend. So if you see me at any of the AAU events, say what's up, give me a pound. I may not know who you are. Just say, hey, we watched the show. And I'm going to say, hey, I appreciate y'all. So we're going to sign out on that note. One love. We'll see y'all next week.
Next week, we'll holla.